Okay, hello and welcome. Here it is, the Modern Eater Show. It is a Thursday, March 26th, 2020, as we continue. Great show lined up. Rebecca Berry here with us.
Hi, guys.
I'm Greg Hollenbach, Jay Parker, doing all of the great hard work for us today. What a show we have lined up today, Rebecca.
We sure do. We have quite a show today.
As folks are filing in right now, and we appreciate your viewership, absolutely. Here's just a little bit of housekeeping. With all the guests that we have on today, I'm going to tell you the lineup, but one way to really support people right now is like their marketing, like their social media, be engaged, see what they're doing. So without further ado, at 4:45, here's kind of a treat. Towards the end of the show, we're going to check in with Robby Overfield. And a lot of folks, just like last night, Brews Beers was doing a trivia night on their Facebook stream. Well, Ska Brewing Company in Durango, Colorado, they're playing some music tonight. Usually they have a ska-barbecue on Thursday nights at Ska Brewing Company. Obviously, that's not happening, so they're still entertaining folks with some live music. At 4:30, Dr. Sara Metz is going to join us from Code 4 Counseling, and Dr. Metz has just been a great spirit guide. We call her Dr. Baby Yoda.
Our new best friend.
She's a superhero,
She's great.
So we love that. 4 p.m., Rich O'Brien will join us from Elevation Foodservices to talk about that end of the business right now being affected. And then 3:30, Dave Thibodeau from Ska Brewing Company. Ska Brewing Company, Peach Street Distillery, and then their new project that's on hold like everything else in the world right now. It's Ska Street Brewstillery that they're opening up in Boulder, Colorado. So we're going to check in with Dave to see how that's going. And at 3 p.m., Katie Lazor from Eat Denver will join us. But in the meantime and in between time, as folks are filing in, if you have questions or comments, please do so. 720-715-3311. That's the text line. 720-715-3311. You will see that on the video down below. One of the best chefs out there today, Troy Guard, will join us on the Modern Eater Show momentarily. A Hawaii native, named one of the great regional chefs of America by the James Beard Foundation. Founder and owner of Tag Restaurant Group, Chef Guard is the force behind several Denver restaurants and has also expanded into Houston after finishing college, going on to train at each of the La Costa Resorts, 5 well-respected restaurants in San Diego. I spent a little time in San Diego. Love those. But he returned to Hawaii and soon became sous chef to the famed Roy Yamaguchi, whose fusion restaurants blend California, French, Japanese traditions. Nearly a decade with Yamaguchi, he refined the Pacific Rim cooking style, and then went on to the acclaimed Doc Cheng's in Singapore. These are some great stories you're going to hear today. A pillar of our community, solidified himself, and without further ado, I want to welcome him to the Modern Eater Show right now. Aloha, Chef. How are you?
Aloha, Chef.
I wish I was in Hawaii right now, but this isn't too bad out there. It's 65, 68, something like that. But I've been cooped up inside. After this show, I'm going to get on my bike and go for a ride.
Oh, fantastic!
Thanks
get a little
for having me, Rebecca and Greg.
You bet. Thanks for joining us.
Always an honor.
This is something that I've been looking forward to for a while, and I really don't. And just to give you some background, we started broadcasting daily. Generally, we're a Saturday show from 6 to 8 on KHOW, Denver's talk station. We felt that we wanted to be that light, in the sky, to where the community can come together and kind of bounce off ideas. So we've just basically gotten reactions and sound off and taken the temperature throughout the days. This is day 11 since the restaurant dining rooms have shut down, and life as we know it has changed dramatically, obviously. So let's just start there. And I've got your letter to your family, or to your ohana, that basically said what you're doing, rather than me reading a letter, because we just saw that reading isn't fun. Why don't you tell us what you had to do?
So, again, first, thanks for having me on. I'm glad you guys are doing this daily. I think people right now, since we can't connect physically, we're connecting in this avenue. So whether it's text, FaceTime, on your podcast, doing them daily, I think it's great. So thanks for that. I think, there's a lot of stress and a lot of fear and a lot of unknown out there right now. So bringing people together and having everybody's back. I mean, I can't tell you how many texts, calls and emails I get daily of the support or, hey, thinking about you, what can I do for you type of thing, and as I do to other people as well. So thanks on that. As far as our Ohana means family in Hawaii. And, I was born and grew up there. Beautiful spots. Just got back about, a month ago. And we're actually, supposed to open a restaurant there at the end of the year, but we'll see what happens there. But since we got that call or that notification from the mayor and governor last week on shutting down, it's been a whirlwind. I'm still kind of in shock and taking it all in, but I tried to tell our Ohana, our staff, that we understand these crazy times. We're here for you. We gave them all the tools and means to get a hold of the government, the mayor, unemployment, etc. What we did last week is obviously close all the restaurants down. We had open house for all of them to come into the restaurants and take whatever they needed. We gave it all away. We also made sure that everyone got paid out through their work terms. And we didn't want to do takeout or to go just quite yet because everything was changing, at least for me, hourly and daily. And every time I made a plan, the plan had to change. And so I said, look, let's just be safe. Let's have everyone come get what they need, stay at home for a little while. Let's figure out what the world is doing, what our state is doing, our city, and then we can kind of take it from there. So obviously getting this, mandatory shutdown by the governor yesterday and the mayor just the other day, that even changes even more things. So,
Yeah.
I hats off to all the great restaurateurs, both independent and big brands that are continuing to do takeout, because I feel like as Americans, we love to eat out and we like to eat different things. And I knew we couldn't be held up in a house for more than 7 days at a time. But just for me right now, I've got so many things going on. We have 13 restaurants, 12 here and one in Houston, that I'm just trying to focus on getting through this dark time and reopening as soon as we're allowed to. And that's what I'm focused and I'm planning on doing right now. Plus, most of our restaurants aren't really big takeout restaurants. And so I think that would be at least a little bit of a challenge for us. I don't see someone maybe going to Tag or Garden Grace for a takeout, but they might like Tag Burger Bar or Los Chingones. But again, like I said, I'm using this time instead of trying to do takeout. I'd rather pull everything back and focus on the big reopening and making a huge impact for our employees, the community, ourselves, the group, all that. So sorry for the long-winded answer there.
No, we
Listen,
wanted
a lot
that.
there. I had to actually had to take notes there. So let's dig in with that. First of all, it strikes me as that's pretty smart, because yesterday's truth was still a truth, but it might not be today's truth or tomorrow's truth. So
exactly,
we're just pivoting as quickly as possible. So some pivot points for some businesses work well. You chose this model, which I can really respect. Here's one thing you don't want to do is dig yourself a deeper hole during times like this. And that's a lot to do with what does takeout look like? Are you putting your food out there in the best manner so you don't lose a customer going forward? And that's
exactly. I think everyone pivoted so quickly, and some are better than I am, but I just couldn't wrap my head around trying to keep people on, trying to do to go, still bringing in the food, trying to figure out prep. And then, when you get home, I need that meal that you ordered to be amazing. And if it's half-assed, you're not going to come back. So for me, I just didn't think we could do it the way we wanted to do it. Another reason why I wanted to get all the books, tidied up, completely closed, kind of take a deep breath and reevaluate where we are at and where we are going. Thirdly, honestly, I think it's great that other restaurateurs are staying open, but for me, my job too is to keep everyone safe. And I just said, you know what, let's try it for 14 days. Let's just shut down. Everyone stay at home. Use this time wisely, because when we are working, we're never with our families. We're always working. So this is a good time for everyone to have that time. And I'll be texting my managers or other employees, and they don't get back to me right away. And I love that, because I'm like, hey, what happened? Where were you? Oh, I was playing with my kids. Oh, I was out on a bike ride. I was doing this. Like, those are things that we're not going to be able to get back. And I just want them to enjoy their time right now and not stress as much as possible.
Absolutely. Chef Troy Gard joins us here on the Modern Eater Show as we kind of dig in and seeing where you're at. Interesting times. Obviously, there was no way to prepare for this, chef. And, I've been going along and trying to forecast things. And a lot of times in life, it's follow the money. You generally follow the money. In times like this, you really find out that people are doing business with other people. It's not really brands doing business with brands, because when the smoke clears and the dust settles, you have to have that reputation. Reputation's everything in this business. How do you set that up with dealing with vendors right now and prioritizing and numbers versus compassion? How do you process that, chef?
That's a great question. And, most restaurateurs that I know, and most people in general, I think we're pretty compassionate and understanding people. We have 623 employees. Now, can I make every single one of them happy? Probably not. But we do our best every single day to make sure that we are the employer of choice and they love where they work, and do everything in our power to give them what they need. So when we have to shut down, I want people to understand that it's not our doing, it's the government, and it's for health and safety reasons,
Right.
And we haven't fired one person, but we did lay everyone off, meaning at the end of this, wherever the end is, whether it's April, May, June, that they do have a place to come back to. They do have a home if they choose to do it. Now, some people won't because they can't wait that long, and maybe they got a different job. But hopefully, a lot of them do come back and are happy that they can come back to work for the Tag Restaurant Group. Now, another thing you said about money, all of a sudden we are a cash income business, and when you go from sorry.
No, you're fine.
You go from 0 to 100 overnight and you close down. It's like, whoa, you got to screech the brakes really fast and reassess and reevaluate. And, we had seen it coming for a few weeks, but I think, it's always hard to tell. It's just my opinion. Whenever I hear a car alarm or my house alarm, do we ever really get scared anymore? I don't think so. We're just, oh, that's nothing. Oh, it'll pass. It won't happen to us. And I think, I can't speak for other people, but for us, we took it seriously, but we didn't ever think we'd be shut down. So while we started to cut, costs, meaning our orders, or relook at scheduling and all kinds of things, I don't think I could ever see us really closing down. I guess I didn't know the magnitude. And again, with the news, I never know sometimes, is it real, is it fake? But it hit everybody pretty hard. And like you were saying, relationships, it's not just a restaurant, it's the farmers, it's the driver who brings it from the farm to the restaurant, it's the airlines, it's the
Oh, we just lost Troy.
sorry
There
about
he
that.
is.
Yeah, someone
No,
was
you're
trying to
fine.
call me. It's the tourists, it's the business people, it's conventions, it's locals. I mean, it's not just one thing. There's just so many moving pieces
It's a
to,
ripple effect, chef.
It
yeah, to
really
the
is.
hospitality business. And like you were talking about Ska Brewing, I mean, from brewmasters to wineries to everything. I mean, it takes a huge toll and a huge effect. And so I haven't, really dug into this stimulus package yet. That's what my lawyers are for. They're bigger and smarter than me. But, we are working daily, hourly. I'm in the office every day, uh, just me and my wife, just working on business plans, performance, budgets on how and when we reopen. So
Yeah.
yeah, that ripple effect is mind-boggling right now.
The Wolfgang Puck and Thomas Keller interview talking about the insurance factors right now.
Right.
That this should just be an emergency stop and covered, and this is how this should operate. And it seems like there's a lot of chaos and confusion of relief. One of the things that strikes me, Chef Troy Garden here with us, is that we're at a stop. We just came to a screeching halt with a stop. Stopped.
There was no slowdown. It was just,
There wasn't.
So stopping points actually is as difficult as that was. That's a lot easier than starting up again, Chef. Getting an operation going again and people being put on the shelf at this time and vendors and those types of things. How do you prepare yourself or forecast that startup time?
Yeah. So I kind of alluded to the fact the other day and someone giggled and laughed. So I'll bring it up again. Maybe you like it. I felt like the restaurant hospitality industry was like the Titanic. There was no one could ever see this thing not getting to where it should. And we saw this iceberg, we saw this virus, but we're just so big we couldn't stop or turn on quickly enough. Like you said, it was just came from 0 to 100 fast. So while we're getting these holes punctured in our vessel, I'm trying to make it to New York, my voyage, right? I'm trying to make it to the other side, which means reopening. So how do we do that? Sure, we've got our bank involved in all of this, our investors, our vendors who have been very, very helpful, our landlords. I mean, we're just on the phone all day long and we're all working together. I'm going to have to happily say that most people, the majority of everyone's been very, very understanding. No one's been too over the top, but like you said, like Wolfgang and Thomas said, I think this thing just moves so fast with such brute force that it's hard to really get our arms around it because it does continually change so rapidly. So once we get some stability there, which I'm hoping is, the beginning of next week, then we can really start planning. And that's when our focus is to come out of this all guns blazing and ready to go. I don't think not to be a pessimist, but I don't think it's just going to snap your fingers and business back to usual for anybody. It's going to be tough. And again, for opening a restaurant, people don't understand. It takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of money. And even when you do open a new restaurant or reopen, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be doing the same revenue dollars or the same cover counts as I was before. So a lot of math, a lot of hypotheticals. Banks are like, well, I need this exactly. So it's very, very trying. I like challenges, and I just look at it as a huge challenge for our team. And I'm always the glass half full. So we will come out of this bigger and better.
Yeah. Great thoughts, Chef. And I just want to dovetail off of those, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You strike me as a remarkable guy. You answer every one of your emails. You could probably put that off to somebody else. You've really earned your bones in the business from the bottom up, talking, and hopefully we can touch on some of that, some of the, you earning your way through the business. But what are some of the traits that you possess right now that you're leaning on inside of yourself right now to carry you and the operation through and your Ohana?
Well, thanks. I try to answer every email. I've tried to have an assistant twice, and I've had to let them go just because I'm just a control guy. I like to have everything and talk to everyone and be that point of contact. And then as far as the traits, I think in this time, obviously, I'm the CEO. I'm the head of the company. I'm the leader. I have to lead, and I'm going to make the best decisions possible. And like I said, not everyone's going to like what I do, and I might even drop the ball or fail, but it's not because I'm not trying. And so that's all we got to do is try. There was something else, I was going to say, and I forgot.
It's all right. Just what you're digging inside of yourself. You've got that fire that,
Oh, yes, the fire. So I'm more afraid of losing than I am winning. Now, I know that may sound weird, but it's not about winning awards or accolades or making this much money. It's about I want to keep challenging myself, bringing along the team with me. I love it when I can see a cook get promoted or a server get promoted or a manager get promoted. And that's what does it for me. And I'm proud that, I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get my first restaurant open. And now we have 13. And that's because of the passion and hard work and the teamwork, really, that believes in the vision. And again, it's really more about failing. I don't want to fail. It's okay to make mistakes, but gosh, I don't want to fall on my ass.
that's what drives a lot of us, I think,
Right.
Chef.
I have a question, if
please.
you don't mind, Chef and Greg. With the expansion, where we're looking to go into Hawaii, you've opened up in Texas. How is that affecting, your other markets and the thought of expansion when things go back to what we now call the new normal?
Yeah, right. So going out of state was tricky. I can't just drive there and be there in 20 minutes. So, but we did do a lot of research. We like the city. We love the city. We like the people we were working with down there. As far as the landlord, it's a great eating town. It's got a lot of similarities with Denver. A lot of people work in Denver and Houston and vice versa. Keeping track, and then Hawaii's on a different playing field because we haven't quite opened, but we're into the city there with our drawings and permits. So I have to look at 3 different states, 3 different cities all the time to see where everyone is. Like Houston, they're locked down. They're supposed to say we can reopen restaurants next Friday. Like, why are they next Friday and we're not till May 11th? It makes no sense how everyone's kind of working it. Obviously, it probably has to do with how many people are infected or
population-wise. I mean, we
Right.
definitely have a much higher population, and I think we're a more condensed restaurant industry here, obviously, which is why I was so excited when you started. I mean, I'm a Colorado native. I love Colorado, but just so my friends who live out there could enjoy your fare. But we're not as condensed out in Houston as we are here. I think that may have something to do with it.
So yeah, it's weird how people are doing it differently. I was on the phone with one of my landlords here in Denver who also offices out of San Francisco, and obviously they did a lot of different things. They shut down sooner over there. So, it's a moving target, like we said. And that's really the hardest part, because every time you do try to put together a plan, something changes again. And that's the hardest part. And again, getting back to all of it, it all comes down to money, right? You have to have money to open a restaurant or open a business and have employees and etc. So you got to be very, very cautious with this money, and with it being pulled out from us, we do need help from the states, the government, etc., our landlords, vendors, and that's what it really comes down to. And again, I think in the next week, everyone's got their paychecks, or maybe even a week and a half, 2 weeks. But after that, I think it's going to get a little tricky,
I think that's where we're going to see a lot of that fear come in. And I think you're absolutely right. We've been discussing this the last few days. The paychecks are still coming, especially if you're on a biweekly pay period.
Right.
You're not going to have your tips, obviously, but you still at least have something coming in with the minimum wage increase here. And it's fearful. We feel for these people. You had to lay off 623 employees roughly. I mean, that's a really hard job to do.
We're going with the term furlough right now. I mean, anything to make it.
Yes.
And it strikes us, and we refer back to a video that Brother Luck in Colorado Springs put out there saying, a lot of times in life you get punished, but you did something wrong and you're getting punished. We did nothing wrong.
Right.
You're dealing with circumstances that could not have been prevented, and you're hoisted into this, and it's changing the climate of which it works. The questions are out there of, is fine dining going to be able to make its return? What will restaurants look like after this? I bring it back to Chef, and this is where I'd like to steer the conversation now, of just getting back to basics, getting back to really what got you there in the first place and that kind of work. Would you tell us the story of the first time that you met the chef in what was the story? I want you to do this, but the first time you met Roy, and when he walks out in a white T-shirt, and you're there for
Did I tell you that story?
Well, could you do it?
I haven't heard it, so I'd love to hear it, Chef.
So, I'm old. I'm 49. So, I went to Hawaii in 1992 to visit my dad. I would go back every summer, check it out. But at that time, I was 21. So when you're 21, most people are either full-time in college still or working full-time or something. But I had a week off. I went over there, and I was working at La Costa Resort in Carlsbad, San Diego at the time. And the first day I got there, maybe a few weeks before that, my girlfriend had broken up with me. So I was like, that was a good time to get away. And then I started thinking, well, God, it's pretty nice over here. Maybe I should get a job. So again, no internet back then. It was just the yellow pages or who you knew. And so I asked a few people around, and they said, oh, this guy Roy's. I'd never heard of it. So I called up the restaurant. I said, hey, my name's Troy. I'd love to get an interview. And that's how you kind of did it back then, right? And so I set up the time in the interview, and it was like coming at 12 o'clock. And so I got there, a little bit early, and this hostess said, oh, he's not in right now. So just have a seat. And so I figured, I sat right by the host stand. I'd be waiting for him to walk in through the front door, right? He's not here. He'll be back. But then this, small Asian guy comes ripping around the kitchen in this white T-shirt and blue jeans and says, hey, can I help you? And I looked up at him. I said, no, I'm waiting for the chef. And then he kind of looked at me. He's like, I'm the chef. I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't know who he was. Again, no internet. You can't find this stuff out. So, that was strike one. And then it was the first time I'd ever seen the most beautiful kitchen, at that point in my life. It was an exhibition kitchen, open. Now every chef has that. But back then it was only Wolfgang Puck and then Roy's. So it was just gorgeous, this huge kitchen in Hawaii and just all this beautiful equipment. He was taking me around and asking me about myself, and he's like, okay, well, where's your resume? I'm like, shoot, I don't have one. Okay, well, what are you doing? I said, I just wanted to see if you would hire me. And, just 21, I'm young, cocky, a dick. And
did you have your rat T-shirt on?
I probably did. No, I actually had a collar shirt on. And I think he liked that cockiness, but it was humble, I think. I loved to work hard. I would do whatever it took. And he hired me on the spot with no resume and making those few dumb mistakes because he liked or saw something in me. And, I started off making $9 an hour. And I said, okay, you're hired. And I went back to California, packed up all my stuff, and a week later I was back there. And I'm not even kidding. Like, after working for him for a week, I said, hey, by the way, how much am I making? I didn't even know or care. I just wanted to work for this guy. And
but then you got
$9 an hour. What?
But then you got a crash course on the Yamaguchi way.
Oh yeah. So it was crazy. I mean, he was winning a James Beard at the time, and he was Mr. Hawaii and doing all kinds of great stuff. And back in the day, there wasn't a lot of farm to table things, and he was doing that in Hawaii, using the local fishermen, the ranchers, farmers, and it was pretty amazing. Obviously, we take that for granted now. Everyone should be doing farm to table. But back then it really wasn't. And it was the most incredible food and flavors that I had ever tried at 21 years old. And from there, that really just blew my mind. And I never went to culinary school. So he was my culinary, I guess, mentor and teacher. And I did whatever he said. Yes, sir. And I worked for him for 8 years. So.
Wow.
That's incredible.
8 years.
Because Troy, chef, you have had to custom make things for me at Tag that were gluten-free, dairy-free, that were just incredible. And just by being in the industry and just learning from the best, that's incredible.
Oh yeah. That was my schooling. So I didn't go to school, but what happened is, I would clock in at 3:00 every day, but I would get there at 9 a.m. So for 6 hours every day, it was just him and me one-on-one. And that was my schooling. And so I gave up my time to do that. And it was the best decision I ever made. So
yeah,
what
that's
an
fantastic.
honor.
And so with kind of your motto is fresh, bright, simple, straightforward ingredients that, I just love that philosophy. Did you get a lot of that takeaway from him?
Definitely. I mean, again, using what was available on the island, we weren't shipping or flying anything in. And, I had never even known what lemongrass or ginger was, to be honest, at that age, 30 years ago, 27 years ago. So all those flavors just blew my mind. And, a little bit of this. He's Japanese. He went to CIA, but he was technically trained French. So you got the French background and foundation with all this East meets West fusion stuff. And it was just really, really amazing. I like fusion food. I think it can get a bad rap because people don't know how to fuse flavors. But if you do, it's amazing, So yeah, fresh, simple, bold, flavorful. I'm all about that.
So that's interesting. Chef, 3 things that you took away from the 9 years there that are indelible into your life right now.
Work ethic. If you want to be successful, you got to work hard. I gave up 6 hours a day for free, 5 days a week. That's 30 hours a day or 30 hours a week. I worked for free, right? So work ethic, you got to have passion. You got to love what you do. If you don't, you think you're going to work every day. I go to work having fun, and I still continue to do that. Just always thinking of ideas. I mean, I've got like menus upon menus in here. All my magazines and books. I mean,
we're in the war room right now.
I love how he has commercial shelving in there too to stack everything.
Yeah, he probably drinks out of a plastic container,
Yeah, a deli.
The chef does.
And so work ethic, passion, and I think, I don't know, we have 7 core values. They're called passion, courage, harmony, humility, imagination, caring, ownership. Those all mean a lot to me, and I think you have to embody those things to work within our group, and you got to have a little bit of all that stuff. But definitely, you got to have passion. Work ethic is a big one. A lot of kids these days, and nothing for nothing. It's a different time and period. I don't want to sound like my dad or grandpa, but people want to do things on their own terms and ways. That's why Uber's so successful. You can pick and choose when you want to work, the marijuana business, et cetera, et cetera. And it's getting tougher for our business. It's hard work. You can't just, okay, we open for lunch at 11:30 and close at 9. Like, there's hours and hours of work that go in before and after. It's a tough business, but it's very, very rewarding. Another thing too that I know I'm getting off topic. And
no, please,
no,
Chef.
This is your time, Chef.
Slap me if I'm going too far, but I think in this time, I'd like to see. I think it'll happen. Rents and cam charges and everything were getting pretty high. And I'm with my lawyer right now. Hopefully some of my landlords aren't listening, but I'm looking at all my leases to see how I can renegotiate change the terms, ask for more, because we just got, we're chefs by trade. I mean, I grew up cooking. I'm not a businessman by trade. That's what those other guys do. And unfortunately, we get sucked into some things because we love what we do and we just want to make good food. So, getting around smart people, spending the time and money to really know. I think I get better and better every year, better and better after every lease. And I've only done 12 or 13, like I said. So you learn and continue learning all the time. So I hope people can take this opportunity to restructure things for themselves. We always kind of give in to the landlord, at least I do, and I'm not going to do that anymore. It's got to be more of a 50-50 win-win situation. One person can't win more than the other. It's got to be complementary if they want you to succeed.
You have to have that feel good, that little fuzzy feeling in your
Warm and
stomach.
fuzzy,
Like everybody's coming away from this feeling good. Comments from the stream. George says, had an excellent dinner at Garden Grace a few weeks ago, thanks to Mitch. Troy's black cod is the best fish dish in town. Can't wait to get back to it soon. And those are the things, and I'm just speaking for you, but you can jump off on this. Those are the things that keep you going. You have that servitude, that hospitality fire inside of you to where you need more of that. You need to, again, feel that you're doing something and people are enjoying it.
And Aaron Shepard says, I miss running Raw Bar at Mr. Tuna. Those were simpler times.
Oh, man. I love that.
I have to ask you, Chef, is that a statue of Tag behind you? Your dog is. That's what I thought I saw. That's
so
amazing.
We had our 10-year anniversary at Tag, and Tag is the name of my English bulldog who passed away. But when we opened the restaurant, he's our mascot. So for our 10-year anniversary, everyone signed it. So kind of cool.
That's so awesome.
Cool. Feedback from the stream. Chef Jeff Jabat says, proud of you, Chef Troy, and I love bragging on you and your brand. You are an inspiration. Take care of your team. That's what's important.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
That's exactly.
So kind. It's in times like this, you see everyone's true colors. Hopefully most people come out very colorful. There's been a couple idiots, jerks, but that's just par for the course. That's America. But for the most part, everyone is really doing a great job together. And again, like I said, we're doing our best. We're fighting the good fight every day for our staff. As I was calling you, I'm writing an email for our Ohana. I try to do it every other day to keep them informed of what's going on and keep them looking at when the sun will shine again and when we will come out on this bigger and better. And like Rebecca said, it might get a little squirrely or hairy in the next week or two, but we all have to remember that we're all in it together and we all have to support each other.
Chef, your experiences there in Hawaii with Roy, but then first of all, what made you get out of there and then go to Pacific Rim in Singapore?
So I was 24 at the time. I had been there 3 years in Hawaii, and gosh, I could have stayed there forever. But then I had a friend who was in Hong Kong.
He's getting a call. He'll be right back.
Yeah. Busy guy.
You want to do some of these? I got a text question for him.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, he's
and I know there's.
There he is. He's back. Who's calling, Chef?
We got to know who's on the phone.
Actually, I'm not even kidding. It's a friend from Italy who used to work for me. So I'll have to call him back. I hope he's doing okay.
I hope he is too.
So I was 24. I'd been in Hawaii 3 years. I and my friend went to Hong Kong. So literally, I know this sounds crazy too, but I went to Hong Kong. I didn't even know where it was. I had to pull up that big round map and it's like, where is Hong Kong? It was this little dot on the South Peninsula of China. And it was the first time I had been out of the U.S. besides Mexico, and it was like mind-blowing crazy, meaning, I went from San Diego to Hawaii to Hong Kong. I mean, Hawaii, which has like on Maui has like 150,000 people, to Hong Kong that has like 15 million. It was insane.
Culture shock.
I loved it and hated it all at the same time, if that makes sense. And but I went there. What I was gonna say is I took 50% pay cut just to go there. Again, I had no girlfriend, no bills. I was all about learning, and so I had the perfect opportunity to learn there. And so I started at the Peninsula Hotel, which is one of the top hotels in the world. And I said, if they're going to hire me, sure, I'll take less money. And then 8 months later, Roy called me and said, hey, I'm actually opening Roy's Hong Kong. You want to be
Telephone.
Got our popular guy. I love Troy's story. He's just incredible. Really motivating. I'm kind of almost tearing up actually right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I apologize. So, you know, I left Roy on good terms, went to Hong Kong. He didn't even tell me he was going to go there. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. And then, wouldn't you know, out of all the places in the world, that's where he opens. And I had set myself up for the perfect next step. And it was, everything I've done, I've always done looking ahead, planning ahead, what's on the horizon. I never took a job, thankfully, on money. It was always what's better for me in my career. And it's paid off. So anyways, going to Asia was mind-blowing, learning all that stuff, learning different cultures.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, Tokyo, Singapore, Thailand. I don't think I would still be a great chef, great restaurant owner, but that taught me to work with different nationalities, different cultures, different food, different laws. You had to adapt. And everywhere I moved, it was new and different. So I like those types of challenges.
Yeah, and now we come full circle, and here we are.
Wow.
The student, now the teacher, and those chapters of your life are written, and you have the stories to tell it. And we look at this chapter now that you're living right now. How would you like to look back on this chapter that you're living right now? And if you were to have an interview, say 10 years from now, how would you like to have that play out?
Good question. I would say I would probably tuck away a little bit more money for next time. You never know when that rainy day is going to hit. We always think things are going pretty well, but of course, no one would have ever seen something this drastic. But it just goes to show you that shit can get turned upside down really fast, right? So yeah, just be a little bit more cautious, safer. Enjoy more time with loved ones and family, because you can't get that stuff back. Like I said, I'm okay because I put money away and saved, but it's just.
Can I give you a guess on how I think it's going to play out, this chapter in your life, Chef?
Yeah, please.
Greg's crystal ball.
Yeah, let me give you what I think. I think that right now people are learning how to get lean and mean and get back to basics. And as we just took a little stroll down your memory lane, I think tonight maybe when you put your head to the pillow, you'll think of these chapters throughout your life and see this just as another learning experience. You're a very smart, intuitive man that I believe going forward, you're going to continue on with those same values as that Ohana, your family. And right now that's under a microscope for you of really what those relationships look like and how you're conducting yourself. I think you're going to come out in flying colors, because it's not an if, it's a when. And when we do get to the other side of this, these are learning experiences to where folks are watching this right now that are learning how to conduct themselves, that are learning how to write the chapters in their life. So I think this is going to be an actually very bright spot for all of us in a time of reflection, but seeing humanity do something for a first time. This is a first that we've really seen humanity shut down globally together and figure out how we're piecing this back and who we are. Wherever you go, there you are. You're left with yourself. And so at the end of the day, as we continue to forge forward, I think we're just all going to be better people.
I love it. Yeah, let's do this show again in 10 years. You'll probably be like in some big LA, New York studio or something, and forget about little old Troy Guard here.
How can we forget about you? You're a staple in our community. I mean, Troy, you're motivating. You just bring a ray of light here and what you've done for the community, and just the fact that you have, again, 600 plus people that you've had to check on. And, I think we're going to see a lot of people who don't have the passion that you do, and from where you started, that will, they're going to kind of find other avenues. But I feel like the passion in the community is going to thrive.
It's an interesting thing, Chef, that you never know where a spark comes from. And you could have just very well lit that spark in somebody who's doubting themselves, trying to figure out should I throw my keys of my restaurant in for the landlord to come pick up? Do I continue on? Do I want to saddle myself with debt in an already small margin business to go forward with more debt? How do I approach these things? So I think that's very important for the modern eater right now, is to continue those conversations to solidify what's important. And, whatever's floating to the top right now, I'm seeing some really good things out there in people. And again, that's where it comes back to this moment. And I know your time's valuable. You got to get back to some things, but I want to ask you to talk to the young people. Are very important to you. You always look across the line and maybe a line cookie. You go, how old are you? Oh, you're 17, you're 16 years old, and they're listening to you. You're the young guy. They're the young guy, and you're the Roy right now.
Yeah.
Right. That's a pretty big responsibility. With that responsibility ahead of you, what are some of the things that you want to say to the young people out there that are doubting being in this business anymore?
Again, you got to love what you do. I just did a speaking engagement at MSU the other day for Jackson Lamb and his class, and it was a lot of fun. And, I don't think I could be a teacher every day, but meaning like in a classroom, I wouldn't mind like in a kitchen teaching. I've thought about doing like having some part of our restaurant being like a cooking class. I think that'd be fun. And nothing's better. I have 3 kids, so nothing's better when you see the light bulb go on a little bit, like, oh, wow, I can button my own shirt now, or I can Velcro my own shoe because they're little, or I can write my own name, or I can chop the onion how perfect, or whatever it is. I love that. And maybe, again, you only get a few of those in a large pot. So maybe there's 5 out of 100, 10 out of 100 that just like, wow, this is awesome. And they want to go and be like you. I always tell them they should be better than me. And I want to give them the tools to succeed. And when I find people, whether it's front of the house, back of the house, who have that light in their eye and asking those questions and seeing their dedication, I will do anything for those people, because those are the people that are going to continue to carry on the traditions of hospitality, and they're going to be the leaders one day too, when I can't do this anymore, and that's pretty exciting. So when I did do this class, I took some free gift cards and asked questions and talked about all kinds of stuff. Food costs. Who can do this food costs analogy? Like, here's a burger. If my hamburger costs X and my bun costs Y, and that's the kind of stuff we don't think about. We think, oh, we just need to cook good food. And there's a lot more that goes into it. You got to know math. So my calculator is one of my best friends. I got to find out the food costs, right? Secondly, got to have good knife skills. And third, you never really think about it. I can still remember 1994 when I had to fire my first person. It was the worst feeling in my life. But you got to know how to talk to people, how to hire them, how to let them go, how to put your foot down, how to not say anything sometimes. It's a lot of fun stuff, and I love the challenges that go with it. So quick, do I have a couple more minutes?
Yes, yeah. First, Chef Elin Wenzel, Chef Guard, has been a huge supporter of Element Knife Company and so many others.
I love those knives. They rock, man. I got to come down there when I reopen to get some new knives to get me going again, Alon.
Go for it, Chef. What do you got for us? You were going to tell us.
Okay, so here's another crazy story. I got lots of them, but 2009, May 2009, we opened Tag Restaurants. The market just crashed in '08. Luckily, I had 3 investors plus myself, and they didn't back out on me. They still said, okay, we're going to give you the money. Everything in that restaurant I bought used. Can you imagine? Everything I bought used. But it still looked cool. You guys have been to Tag. It's a cool restaurant.
Oh, yeah. I've been at the chef's table, actually.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I love the wood on the floor. I love the bricks in the wall. I love the open natural ceilings. And that really, I wanted something that was going to be timeless. But you know what? I wanted to open my restaurant so bad. I only had a budget of not very much money, and I made it happen. But 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, my investor sat me down and said, dude, you're losing a shit ton of money. What's going on here? And what happened was I was just so focused on cooking that I let my manager do this and my wine guy do this and my other manager do that. And, we were a new restaurant. We had to watch our funds. So unfortunately, I had to let go of some people and do everything more myself. I was the chef. I was the GM. I was the catering manager. And we went from losing $40,000 that month to the next month losing 20, to the next month losing 0, to the fourth month making $40,000. So that's how fast we were able to turn it around, because in this business, you can lose money that fast, or you can make it if you really dial in and put your head down. And that's what we did. I wasn't going to lose. I wasn't going to fail. And I did whatever it took to succeed. So my investors keep me grounded. They're the ones that call me out on things, and rarely do they ever pat me on the back, because that's not their job. But, they've stayed true to me, and they've had the hard talks with me. But, it's a tough business. I just hope, like you said, people who really love what they do, they should fight and stick it out. And people who are doing it because they think it's fun or a hobby, this is where it's going to clean house a little bit, not to be mean.
My old mentor used to call times like nut cutting time at the ranch.
Yeah.
That's what time it is right now. Chef, let's jump. Can we jump 3 weeks back before all of this madness? What was exciting you in the world of food?
3 weeks back, I was excited. It was the beginning of the new year, right? So that's always exciting. We had plans. We had big vision boards. We had what we were going to do. And Jeff, my manager, just said he's listening and watching. So thanks, Jeff. So we had all these plans, and I think most people were having a pretty good first 2 periods, what we called the first 2 months. And then it just like this. So we had big plans just like everyone else. I don't think anyone's ever like, oh, no, I don't think I can push forward. I think we're always trying to do new things and push forward. So we had 4 restaurants on the docket. And who knows? Maybe we still might do them. Maybe we won't. We're definitely going to talk to the landlords and see what we're going to change about the leases and the verbiage in there. But it's definitely I don't want to say reset button, but we have to kind of like you said, get back to basics and figure out, there's a little fat on the top that you need to trim down a little bit. And maybe I was a little bit too full of myself. Just keep going this way. Like, hey, let's slow it down a little bit more. Let's focus. Let's reassess, just kind of reassess. So that's what we're doing now, is making sure that we have the right tools, we have the right people, we have the right everything to keep moving forward.
Yeah, to get it going.
So I have a couple questions, if you don't mind, Chef. One that I'm hoping will benefit your employees and your organization. I'm working with Levers Locavor, right? I'm pronouncing that
place
correctly.
Is great, yeah.
We are looking to get some signed stuff from chefs that we can do a retail piece in. We'd love to have a few pieces from you if you have aprons or things that you would be willing to sign. And all of the proceeds go back to your organization.
Yeah, we want to make you like $73.
Yeah, but we're trying to get something back to you. Or if your restaurants have any merchandise, T-shirts, hats that we can sell within the establishment as well. So again, anything that we sell there will 100% go back to the organization, as well as any other donations we'll divvy up between the vendors that we have there. But it would be an honor to have you present in the display area.
If you have any apparel, yeah.
If you've got anything for us.
Oh, we do. We've got, I think, some of the coolest hats and shirts for some of the restaurants.
Awesome.
Plus, we do our famous steak seasoning at Garden Grace or the seasoning at Boo Boo.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, we'd love to help out if
yeah, we're doing, I know that I clarified with Jem, we're just, for the time being, we're going to do like T-shirts and hats, and then we may move into some other things. So I'll connect with you offline on that.
People are trying to get creative.
Yeah,
right now,
but
Chef.
we want to bring stuff that's sitting around that can help your employees or your organization and just get it back to you as soon
That's
as
super
possible.
nice. Thank you.
So,
My second question, that's okay, but I actually have three questions. My second question was, where in San Diego did you live? Because I lived in Carlsbad and I've been to La Costa. It's beautiful. Part of town were you in?
So I always just say San Diego. I probably should say different cities now because they're so big. But when I moved there in '86, a little town in North County called Escondido, which is a big town now.
Yep.
So it was roughly about, back then it was about 18 minutes to Escondido to Carlsbad or Del Mar. And I know that road very, very well. We'd go down there all the time to the beach or camp at San Alejo and just love it down there. South Beach is just the best.
I love it too. I lived at La Mirage up on Friars Road by Qualcomm Stadium, overlooking Qualcomm Stadium.
Yeah.
That San Diego is a really fun place to go. What was the other one?
My third question, which is the most important, I have gotten to spend some time with Miss Gracie. How is she doing? She doing well with homeschooling now and whatever it may be?
Oh, we've got a knuckle. That might have been it. Do we have you, Chef?
Oh,
I'd hate to end it this way.
I know. It's always something.
I'd hate to end it this way. What an honor, though, Chef Troy Gard.
Wow.
And really, a lot of folks, you just get to see the chef working so hard and just nose down, and you really don't get to see the person behind the jacket. And the opportunity today to been able to catch up with
there he is.
Chef Gard as we were just tap dancing, waiting for you, Chef, to come back.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Did you get my third most important question?
No, Greg was talking about where you live. Where did you live?
I lived in a place called La Mirage, and it was on Friars Road up by Qualcomm Park.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Jack Murphy Stadium. Come on.
It was Qualcomm when I lived there, man. We're the same age. So, we're going back. And that was my past life when I was a sales rep for Oakley. I used to travel the state selling eyewear. And I used to take one of those big fold-out maps, put it on my lap, and get my map for the day.
God,
of what
Oakley was so big back then, huh?
Yeah, Foothills Ranch, and I moved up to Orange County after that. You were going to ask about
the most important question I have. So I have gotten the honor of spending some time with Miss Gracie. How is she doing, and how is she doing with not going to school?
Oh, Grace Scar, she's a rock star.
She's a pistol. I love that little girl. She's just amazing.
You know what? She obviously is amazing. She's super smart. She can be a little lazy, meaning she's good at it and doesn't want to work at it. And so that's kind of the biggest challenge there. As far as no school, we try to make sure that she stays on a schedule. I think that's the hardest thing right now, right? Parents have to adjust all their schedules too. So we wanted to keep the kids on a schedule so they have a calendar. They've got a schedule. They can sleep in, they can watch TV, but after that it starts. And I think it starts at like 9:30 to 2:30 or something. So a little easier than school, but I've seen that when we stay on that schedule, they're actually better at the end of the day than when you just let them do whatever. They get cranky and tired. So I'll tell her you said hi.
Yeah, please do. And how's the rest of your family doing? Nikki and the kids are doing well?
Oh, yeah. Jagger's 5.5 and Jameson is 19 months, and they're all pistols. And Nikki is amazing. She's in the other room doing some work, but I'll tell her you said hello.
Please do. Thank you, Chef.
That's fantastic.
Please. Thank you.
Times like this, fires, the most destructive fires leave behind some of the most fertile soil. And I see that as we embark upon the future here. I know that you will renegotiate some leases. You will get some new spots back in the portfolio, which is exactly what you want. I hope Houston it will turn into everything that you want it to turn into, Chef. But most importantly, what T-shirt are you wearing today?
You know, I forgot I was going to be on this show, so I was kind of embarrassed. But I was born in 1971, so that puts me as an 80s rocker. And you're not going to believe this shirt.
That's Van Halen, baby.
This is classic. This is original 1988 rock and roll shirt.
That Monsters of Rock, dude. I went to see Monsters of Rock in Mile High Stadium, and that was when Axl Rose could not. Or was it Axl Rose? He had some sort of accident during that tour, and
look at that. This thing on eBay would sell. I'm not even kidding. For $200.
I'll buy it right now.
No, you won't. That's a lie.
I might have to sell you this shirt soon. Shirt off my back.
Okay, I know you have to go, but I want to just see a couple of things around your office, Chef Gard.
Yeah, and Chef, I will be in touch with you regarding merchandise. We want to get this done sooner than later for you.
Show me the walls there. What do you have on the walls?
You're the best. Thank you, guys. So, beautiful wife, my son over there, a letter from Washington, D.C., congratulating me on being a good chef, I guess. Tag, my 10-year anniversary. Our vision statement. This was from our last restaurant, Lucky Cat, that unfortunately had to close. Some pictures from my kids. Rolling Stones, my son's name Jagger. This picture, I don't know why I have, because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Niners beat them. I think it's like saying...
That was a cool moment, though. That was the impossible catch.
I know, right?
You have it because it's autographed by some folks.
Isn't that cool?
That is very cool. I remember that moment.
I like rock and roll, so there's some Scorpions on there. I got my Metro shelves. I have all my Bon Appetit food and wine. I keep most of my cookbooks at home because I like to work from there without anyone around. I keep all my old menus. So here's like all ideas. I have so many pieces of paper with ideas and menus.
Really works.
This is what I was holding up my iPhone to. Have you ever tried this?
Yeah. Very good. What is that?
It's Metallica whiskey.
No, it's not.
It's only for special occasions.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. What a great time we've had with you today.
This is great.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Nikki.
It's Rebecca and Greg.
Hi, Nikki. Oh, wow. This is more than we bargained for. That's
okay, so look at all the restaurants up there on the wall. See that? And the vision. And I love Slurpees and Icy so much. Look at this.
Oh, no.
Can you see it?
Yes, we do.
So come by for a Slurpee sometime.
Hey, I'm going to take you up on
can hand me one through the window as I'm grabbing the merchandise from you. How about that?
I love it.
And you put a little bit of that Metallica whiskey in one of those.
Greg, I'll get you one. Don't you worry.
Cool. All right, man. This is more than we bargained for, Chef. You spent an hour of time with us. It's been an honor, and we want to catch back up with you. I do have to tell you that generally the Modern Eater Show is all about cooking. We're here at Studio Kitchen, Colorado. It's a studio/commercial kitchen. We'll show you around here sometime. But we have all kinds of fun toys in here, and the community comes in. We have chefs that cook and do demos, and we have distillers and breweries, and we just have a great time in the community here. And we also do something called the Summer Dinner Series, where we highlight a lot of chefs. This year's lineup is Carrie Baird, Brother Luck, Elise Wiggins.
That's awesome.
Jesus Silva.
Jesus Silva.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not the time to mark your calendar, but if we could offline ask you to join us for our dinner series, it's for a great cause and for the community, but we'd love to see you in here participating with us sometime.
Yeah, anytime. Again, I appreciate you guys thinking of me. I appreciate you being genuine, asking me awesome questions, letting me answer, letting me ramble. And I'm glad you guys are doing this daily. I've seen you've had some good people on board. I've been a little bit busy day in and day out to listen, but now it's going to be on my podcast every day.
Aw, thanks,
That's
Chef.
all we could
We
ask
love
for.
it.
Don't tease us like
Yeah,
that,
I
Chef.
know.
I will.
We appreciate your time and your stories. We love getting to
Yeah.
know more of the person too behind the knife, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
behind the kitchen.
That's very cool. All right, man.
I love it.
Keep that T-shirt for me. Hey, keep your family safe. I'm sure
Yeah.
you already are. And rock and roll. We'll see you down the road.
We'll do a virtual.
Aloha.
All right.
Aloha.
See you,
guys have
brother.
a great day. Talk
Bye,
to you
Chef.
There he is, Chef Troy Gard.
God, he's great.
Rich Snyder says, "What a rock star!" He chimed in. Little Rich Snyder. Went a little
Rich.
long, but why not? Yes. Everybody loves Rich. He's
Who
the
doesn't
mayor.
love Rich? If there was somebody who doesn't like Rich, I just don't know. I'm sure there's somebody
I
somewhere.
think we
but
had a teeny audio issue to begin with. I don't know if it's a big issue or a teeny
it's
one.
fixed now. It's not.
It sounds better.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, I'm hoping.
a lot of metal
It
around.
just felt like
Well-
there was lightning going through my ear for an hour, but it's all good.
I mean, when you guys were talking, honestly, it was crystal clear with just a hint of something in the background. So, unfortunately, I'm hoping that it was Troy Gard's fault.
Well,
I was hearing it yesterday.
And you know what? I'm being funny when
Yeah,
I
I
say
know.
his fault, but I'm hoping that it was just some kind of wonky connection. Time is going to tell. I've got I've reached out to Sonia, who says she's free to talk, but she hasn't connected yet. And then also Katie Lazor from Eat Denver. We are pushed back a little bit because
so
of
I
so
just
much
got a
great.
text from
Who?
could possibly be on a future show.
Oh, I'm not going to spoil this.
Maybe tomorrow. I don't
Michael
know.
Jordan.
No, this is big.
Frank Bonanno just.
Oh.
So we'll see if we
Is
can.
that Miss Katie?
Hi.
Hey, Katie, how are
Katie
you?
here.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for joining
Thanks
us.
for having me.
You just jumped on right after Troy Gard. That was a fun segment. I don't know if you caught
that
any
was
of
great.
it or not.
I did catch a little bit. I wish we would have overlapped because I need to give him an air hug from here.
We're all doing that. We'll give you one to start.
Katie Lazor, Eat Denver. We've been looking forward to this, and I haven't had the opportunity to meet you, but you're doing a lot of great things. Could you just spend, 30 seconds to a minute talking about Eat Denver?
Sure. And thanks for having me on. It's unusual in this business that we meet online versus in person. So it's a little funky, but I'm really happy to meet you guys. And thanks for telling all of these much needed stories this week. We all really appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot more than you know.
So Eat Denver, I'm trying to think back 10 days ago to what we normally do for the community. We're an independent restaurant network of 250 member restaurants. They're all independent, locally owned concepts in the Denver area. We reach out to Boulder and Aurora a little bit, but the majority of our members are downtown Denver. The organization has been around since for the last 13 years and has adapted in a few pretty big ways depending on what the industry needs and what the climate looks like. So you can imagine how we've changed in the last 10 days even to adapt to what restaurants need and the chaos that is right now. So we have a few different arms at Eat Denver. The first and foremost is community building within industry. So we were really founded on the idea of collaboration with the industry that's already so strong and just being a platform to really propel what is already such a tight community that we love each other so much. So first and foremost, we exist to pool resources between independent operators to help us all move forward and gain collective knowledge and make progress in our industry. And then a few other things that we work on are education. Every month we get our group together in person to have a discussion around a different topic like conscious communication for your managers, cannabis and culinary, the wage gap and minimum wage. So pretty much anything from operations to marketing to more advocacy. And then we also do some food festivals. That's the really fun stuff that the community gets to engage on, like the Big Eat, Harvest Week, and the Eat Colorado Food Show.
Which are, by the way, are all very impressive.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Oh, thank you. They've been going for a really long time, so I inherited some really, really awesome and unique events.
Yeah, don't mess them up.
Thanks. I've tried my best. And lastly, there's a piece of our organization that works on incubating solutions for the restaurant industry and its needs. So a couple of things that we've helped create are the Culinary Quick Start program. It's a 4-week long basically boot camp for training new cooks with Emily Griffith a few years ago. And then more recently, we helped Visit Denver launch the togodenver.com website to promote all of the amazing takeout, curbside, and delivery options that we now are marketing more than ever.
So you're just bored right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just reading through this bookshelf behind me, just making my way through.
Be careful. He's going to ask you about your kitchen, so just to prepare you.
We might take a little tour. I don't know. So let's begin. Thank you for that. And again, just a great organization with us right now. Katie Lazor, Eat Denver, and all of the links, everything you'll need. You can find it, Google it, whatever, but we'll have some links as well that are be clickable for you. I got to tell you, 3:30 though, Dave Thibodeau from Ska Brewing Company, don't miss that. In the meantime and in between time, we continue on the pivot points and just being there for people. What's the climate right now? What are the things that what's triage? What's at the first of the list?
Well, I will say that like everyone else in this industry right now, every day feels like at least a week, and the tone shifts very drastically from day to day, depending on what everyone is confused about, focused on, laughing about. It really has been an emotional roller coaster, and really just crisis mode all day, every day, trying to get people answers, give guidance. But the constant has remained that people are leaning on each other more than ever. So what I normally get to see, and, I'm unique in the fact that I get to see so much of that collaboration and teamwork between operators that other people consider competitors. That's now totally public, and people get to basically peek behind the curtain and see how collaborative this industry is. And my dog Waffles is coming over to say hi.
What's up, Waffles?
Oh my gosh, Rhett Montague needs to introduce his waffles to Katie's waffles.
Dog Waffles?
There's another dog. Rhett works. He's the executive chef for the Manor House, and he has the cutest waffles too.
Waffles, the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys to facilitate an introduction.
I will make an intro. Don't you worry. So, Rhett, be prepared for the email. I don't know why I'm looking up like you're somewhere in the
Waffles
vicinity.
meet waffles.
Waffles and waffles, and Katie and Rhett. Waffles and waffles. Is your waffles male or female?
Female.
Oh, we have male waffles on the Rhett side.
This is all
This is what I'm saying when every day has these unexpected twists and turns.
That's right. Never did I think this would what the interview would be.
Well, I didn't either until she had waffles.
You'll have to remind me what I was talking about.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
And that's my job. We're talking about, and I'm loving seeing this too. First of all, the local aspect of this organization is we love local. Anything to do to be able to support that. You're absolutely right as far as it goes with collaboration right now. Seeing people collaborate and the creativity is where you were talking about.
Yeah, and just, one thing that I have really been in awe about, in addition to the collaboration, is no one has any time or energy for negative talk right now. And, the second that there's now she really wants to get in on this.
She knows where.
She's like, where's the other waffles?
I knew this would happen.
Collaboration.
Pick her up. Put the waffles in your lap.
Okay.
We love
We
dogs.
have to just go there. Come
That
here.
looked like a lap dog, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, there we go, though.
Yeah, it's just no one has time for negative talk or energy. Everyone, is staying really positive, and I've been hearing some negative commentary. And it's so easy right now to just say, not now. This isn't the time for it. Let's just focus on what we can do, what we have control over, and bringing the people closer to us that are more action oriented and staying positive through all of this. Someone posted a good old fashioned Mr. Rogers quote recently, and it said something along the lines of always look for the helpers. And I found that I have a group of people that I've been talking to and have really been great advisors and collaborators with me every single day of this crisis. And I just make sure to call on them and the people that are really helping, that are staying calm and focused and positive, and that helps me stay on my game. And
who's moving the needle right now when the needle's stuck? That's really, and you're starting to see who's earning their money. Organizations, some are really shining right now. The Colorado Restaurant Association, Sonia Riggs, is just working day in and day out to get information to people. And I'm seeing that with you and your organization too, just double timing it right now.
And we've been working closer with them than ever. And they've just been an incredible resource. We've been, partnering to do every single thing that we can. So it's been really awesome to work with their team and see how we can, along with other folks like Visit Denver, some other organizations, just really figure out, what's each of our places in this, where does it make most sense, and how can we, move as fast as possible on the most effective.
What kind of messages would you like to talk to our audience about?
I would love to. So there's a couple things I want to touch on at least, and the biggest thing right now, the biggest message that our industry has is to continue supporting restaurants and how you can do that. And it seems like Troy already spoke a little bit about this. I caught a little bit about it, talking about merchandise, gift cards. I know his restaurants aren't open right now. So unlike their restaurants, there's still, I would say 25% of Denver's restaurants are still operating to go and delivery right now. And, the most important thing that any community member can do is buy takeout or delivery and tip, what you can. It's been great to see all the generosity, people buying gift cards and even tipping on the gift card, their favorite restaurants, just because, they want to see that restaurant open at the end of this. They want to see, they want to be able to celebrate when all this chaos is over, in the places that, have been there for them, for their gathering and their celebration. So it's been really cool to see people come out of the woodwork and supporting restaurants, both individually and businesses too. So I would say, anything that you can do, and also any money that you would be spending when during a normal week on eating out, you could divert that to gift cards, takeout, or you can donate that to one of many on-the-ground efforts to feed out-of-work hospitality workers. There's plenty of places to support. I just love to remind people about the different options right now.
Katie, it's something I want to touch on too, as you discuss supporting the industry. We had a really great chat about this. I think it was yesterday. Again, it's all flowing together. Is organizations that are catering right now to, it was with Brother Luck, reach out and have the organizations cater from a
fantastic
local
point, Rebecca.
place to where they can do box lunches or to go. And instead of just ordering a standard lunch from somewhere, order it from your favorite restaurant and support them, tip them. There is that tipping site, and I will review what that is shortly.
The rotating for the bartenders?
Where you can rotate it's bartender servers.
Yeah.
They sign up, and I randomly tipped 2 people $10 each the other day.
Straight to their Venmo.
Yep. Tip George Valent, who's been commenting. Cool. We're going to meet at Hazel, grab a drink, and go back to his house, finish it, and then I'm going to go home. We're going to have happy hour.
There are creative ways to support. So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question again. Katie Lazor here with us, Eat Denver.
Yeah.
How, with so much information out there, Katie, you do still have to be a little careful with where you're, unfortunately, there are folks that will take advantage of bad situations. What's your advice to folks to be able to vet out an actual way? Us that are very connected in the industry, we know who's who and what's what, but some folks watching or listening may not know that. Is there any advice that you could tell folks for an organization that's valuable, or how to vet out one that may not be?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And I'm having trouble just keeping my finger on the pulse of what exists as far as relief and these third-party support systems that are being set up. Advice would be, first and foremost, look at the organization or individual that is hosting whatever GoFundMe or
platform that asks for money.
Thank you. Or a meal platform. Because you'll want to know if that's a business that you know and trust, or if it's a random individual. And there's a chance that random individual that you don't know of is connected with a very legitimate organization. But do a quick Google search of, does this nonprofit exist? Or, how are these people involved in the restaurant industry in normal times before this all started? So I think that will give you, even just those quick searches will give you a lot of insight into their motivation, their, the ability to trust them and where your money's going. A lot of media, I do want to give a huge shout out to all of the reporters right now. They're doing tireless work to tell the stories of this industry from every single angle. And Ed Sealover just did a roundup on his Full Plate column. I think it was yesterday, on different charities or platforms. So I know he did a lot of work to vet those and make sure that they all had very legitimate contacts and systems in place. So that's another way that you can quickly screen.
Yeah, I say treat it like you're dating somebody. If you're going to date, you're going to Google it, you're going to figure it out, you're going to ask questions, you're going to go directly to them to ask questions. So treat it like if you're giving the money away that you're dating that organization.
That's dangerous, Greg, because I had a background check when I was single. So I don't know. Katie, something I'd like to add, this just came through from Heather Smith, who I used to work with the company Work, WURK. Sir Speedy in Denver is going to help Colorado now by offering local restaurants 250 black and white to-go menus free of charge. Their number is 303-839-5889, Joseph at sirspeedy.denver.com. This is huge because we're having so many people having to reinvent the meal and put new menus out. So this literally just came through. So something to share as we continue to share across the board.
Yeah, Katie, where is there a centralized location where you guys are putting great valuable information, or is there an email chain that people can get in on?
I wish that we had enough capacity to be updating our website with all of this. We might be able to jump in there soon on eatdenver.com and give some more up-to-date info. In normal times, we really exist internally for the industry. So all of our communications are through a newsletter to our members and on our industry listserv. So we have an email group of 450 restaurant owners and managers. And as you can imagine, 10 or 11 days ago, that listserv just started going off every 30 minutes with another huge question or update. So that's a very internal resource, but as of last week, I've opened that up to any restaurant owner, operator, that's an independent operator in town, whether they're a member of ours or not, just to help get the community the information that they need. So if anyone, if any of your community members or anyone listening is not on that listserv and would like to be, the only qualifiers right now are that you're an independent restaurant owner or manager.
Great.
Cool beans. Well, you're off the hook at 3:30. We've got just a minute or two left with you, so you are off the hook because I would want a tour of your house.
But what's your favorite kitchen item?
Oh.
We're getting crap.
Like coffee pot? I mean, how do you answer that?
Andy would say the French press that I have.
Oh, all right.
Well, I do have that right now.
Where are we in your house?
We are in my living room, which is also my kitchen and my
We are in her kitchen
and my gym these days.
Nice. We're there.
And we're in Uptown. We're right across the street from like Stevens and Ace. So that's my extended living room and patio. Okay, so kitchen utensil. So I'm like such a coffee for sure, the French press, and then I have this awesome coffee bean grinder. But I am a huge fan of fresh ginger. So I have this grater that I use every single morning with to make my smoothie and then I stand there and I huff the fresh ginger for like 2 minutes.
And you know the spoon trick, right? So you don't slice your hand off if you're peeling the ginger, because it took me a while to learn. Use the back of a spoon, because I've cut my fingers 17 times.
That's going to be another show.
Oh my gosh! Okay, writing this all down.
To learn that.
Are you not supposed to eat the ginger skin? Because I just
depends on what. Are you juicing
Jay,
it?
you can eat whatever. I mean, at the end of the day,
Well, you can't eat it otherwise.
In that. Not just be bitter.
But yeah, use the back of the spoon and just scrape it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that on.
I do kind of always get nervous when I'm doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. You will never hurt yourself again on ginger.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Katie, I can't wait to meet up with you under different circumstances. It is good to meet you by the video conferencing here, but we'll get out there someday and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks so much,
Katie.
Yeah, you bet.
You know, the 9 News guys, so they set up a tent outside in the backyard, and you can actually see my house. I won't tell you which one it is, otherwise y'all be knocking on the door for food. But you can see my house. Andy was like, the house is on 9 News.
You
from
can
there.
See it from the backyard?
From their new backyard setup. Mm-hmm.
All right, standing by for Dave Thibodeau, Ska Brewing Company in Peach Street Distillery. But in the meantime, here it is. As everybody's getting ready to just prepare, get lean, and reopen, I have to tell you about Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solutions. That's right. Clean out those tap lines. It's more important than ever to clean out the tap lines because you're going to be back operating the business and you want to have that delicious craft beer taste just like the brewer intended it to taste. Jeff Rourke can make sure that's happening. Give him a call now, 720-272-3809. Again, he does installs. He'll add a line. He'll clean a line. He'll get your glycol all set up for you. Do the little tweaks that you'll need during this downtime. 720-272-3809. That's family owned and operated. Most trusted man in the business for 20 years. His name is Jeff Rourke at A+ Beverage Solutions. On to the next thing. It is 3:30. Looking forward to this. It's been a while, and I was hoping he was wearing a Modern Eater hat, but maybe not. I gave him one.
How come I don't have one?
I gave you one yesterday.
No, I didn't take it. I put it back in the bag.
Oh, you did. That's what Dave did, too. Dave Thibodeau, Ska Brewing Company. I think we're in the Dave house today. Are we at the Dave house?
Hey, Dave.
Hi, you guys. We are in the Dave house. Sorry, I'm not wearing the hat. I think I'm trying to get through the days, so I've got the Ska hat on today.
I was wearing one yesterday. Love all your apparel, by the way. Well, welcome to the show. It's been a little while. Last time we got you on, we were just thrilled to go, okay, here it is, new project, Ska Street Brewstillery, Boulder, Colorado, and we were just all ramping up and getting ready for that. And everything just went to a screeching halt, Dave.
Boy, howdy. It sure did. That new business was open for 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Oh,
Is that a true story?
The true story.
That was your opening day?
Yeah, that was Monday. That was the day that Governor Polis
Pulled it.
we opened that evening. Monday evening was our opening, and we were open for an hour before Governor Polis came on and said bars and restaurants need to shut down.
That must have been a hell of an hour.
Things were already getting pretty weird. We were kind of doing a 1 in, 1 out, trying to limit it to 50 people. That was it seems so long ago. It really was only, a matter of days ago.
11 to be exact.
You got day 11. And it was, there was a lot of good energy around it, and our staff was really excited about it. And it seemed like Boulder was really ready for us to be there. And, it was just weird, but there was a lot of good energy, and I'm hoping that carries through until we all come out the other side of this madness.
Yeah, and which we will. And it's interesting, the first to go down, restaurant, bars, breweries, just any dining in location, drinking in location, first to go out, but I believe it's going to be the first to go back in.
I agree.
And when the floodgates open back, you got to be, get ready type of thing. We're in a holding pattern right now, but the excitement and Boulder and a new, listen, here's Ska Brewing Company in Durango, Colorado, and then Peach Street in Palisades. So kind of all over Colorado. And then this centralized Boulder location. The excitement, talk about the location, because I am looking forward to get back in. How is it set up?
The in Boulder, the brew distillery.
And where is it exactly in Boulder?
Yeah. So it's right on Arapahoe. It's actually the former Fate Brewing brew pub.
Yep. No, exactly. The old Jose Muldoon's.
Exactly. Yeah. We there was some unfortunate circumstances surrounding Fate, and I hate to. It feels kind of weird to I wouldn't say take advantage or even capitalize. I don't think is the right term, but it's unfortunate that it was an unfortunate situation for somebody else that led to us being in that location. But I guess at this point, that's all kind of moot because there's a lot of unfortunate going on, right? So, right. But yeah, that's the location. And what we did was we kind of had this plan was a long time coming. We just didn't know exactly where it was going to happen. But it's our distillery, Peach Street Distillers, and the brewery, Ska Brewing. Peach Street is in Palisades. Ska's down in Durango. And we've always we're from the Front Range. We grew up kind of right where Lakewood, Golden, Wheat Ridge all kind of come together, 32nd and Youngfield area. Both my partner Bill and I were there, grew up there, went to Wheat Ridge High School, and then Bill went to CU. And then a couple of our key guys are former Avery employees that have lived in the Boulder area for years. So we really wanted a physical presence in Boulder and in the Front Range, and this kind of presented itself. It was a sort of serendipitous series of circumstances that led to this location kind of falling in our lap. And I've got to be honest. I mean, I don't know how many things I've felt pretty good about as far as business over the years, but things really aligned for us there, and it felt really good. It felt good in the gut, Yeah. And then the staff that we had was fantastic. And this is just, I don't even know what to say about it. And I know we're all in this, and I just don't even know where to go with it. I just
surreal. I think surreal. I wake up every day, and we're busy. We're trying to stay connected to our community and to our industry. And on a personal level, I wake up and go, I'm still not feeling it.
It's a sci-fi dream.
It is. It's like a bad dream, and I'm like, what day are we in? It's just unreal.
and then quickly back to reality.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, this is real.
This is happening.
So where does that leave you? I know that you were doing big push. You were hiring, and how many new employees did you hire?
This is unfortunate, but I hope there's a silver lining to all of this, and that we get all these people back. But we hired 70 people, within the 2 weeks leading up to that. And a couple really key people, our brew stiller, who is essentially our head brewer and our head distiller combined, and our GM, assistant GM, our chef, and then all the front of house, back of house people. And in total, it was 70 people. And, unfortunately, after that 1 hour, we leveraged ourselves as far as we could and spent every penny we could borrow to get the place open. And things were looking really good, but once that happened, we're not even open to try to do any takeout or curbside. That's the neighborhood. Yeah, nobody was familiar with us. Nobody knows the menu, and so unfortunately, we had to lay off 69 of the 70 people the very next day. And it's the same thing kind of at the brewery in Durango and Peach Street and Palisade. We immediately lost all of our draft business and our on-premise business. For those in the industry, that's the bars and restaurants. If you don't understand that, but it's substantial, and these are all people that really helped us get to where we are, and that we care about a lot, and it's our family,
Well, in that area, Greg, I don't know if you're familiar with where Fate was. Yeah. And it's where they're at is more of a commercial area too. It's not very residential. So that's also another challenge of kicking that up is the businesses weren't aware yet.
Well, the brakes got, that's a screeching halt for that. And a few more just to put the tragedy on top of the tragedy is those folks can't get any benefits through unemployment because they're hired on for a cup of coffee to get back furloughed and back into the market of jobs. And again, just that's tragic. If you've ever been to Ska Brewing Company, the on-premise or the tap room, that's a pillar of the community. That breaks my heart because I've had quite a few beers in there. And you're right. It is family, especially in Durango. Everybody knows each other.
Oh, yeah.
I think there may be a little bit more understanding, obviously, and leniency, and you may get a lot of those folks back. But just the prospect of shaking up such a great team, Dave, it's just probably terrible to you.
It is. It's devastating. Last week was the hardest week of my entire life. And, it was weird. I had a hard time even talking to people. I just broke down in tears. It was hard. And, this, like, even just talking to you right now, I've never had a serious conversation with you. I've always it's all been jokes and fun and beers. And, maybe we have a serious subject matter, but what is that weird blue chicken by the sunflower oil, by the way?
Exactly what you just said. A weird blue chicken.
Jake, can you give it a squeak, please?
Yeah.
And we have our Dr. Baby Yoda over there, too.
Okay, I'm glad you guys have that. And if you know where I could get one myself, hi, Jay.
It's on its way.
In Mexico.
It's on its way. That is now yours. We'll name that Dave.
Oh, you know what? He did need a solid name. Dave, I like Dave.
This is San Pasquale. That's the patron saint monk that was the chef for the monks. So that dons our kitchen, keeps us safe. And that's little Baby Yoda right there. That's Dr. Baby Yoda.
Dr. Baby Yoda. And then some great cooking oil.
Hey, what are you drinking?
It's our hazy IPA.
I love
that great just marketing. Like
I know
that makes me I can't drink beer, but that makes me want to buy that even though I can't.
Hey Dave, Jay Parker here. How you doing? Good to see your face. Are you guys canning that? What was that delicious non-alcoholic carbonated water with something? Skagwa. Do you guys can that? Yeah.
There's we have 3 flavors of that. It's available around Durango. We don't really distribute it throughout the rest of the state, but it's.
I was going to say, can you just drop?
we've always had on tap at the brewery just for free. People can help themselves.
Yeah.
And we started canning that this last year, and it's, you know, it's like it's our version of LaCroix, even though we've actually been making it for a decade now.
No, it's absolutely delicious, and as somebody that doesn't imbibe on the better products that you're serving, unfortunately, that's my go-to. So if you could just drop a pallet, I'll give you the address out to my house in Aurora.
No, drop it here because I want some of that.
Pallet of that.
Just go ahead and drive that up for us, Dave.
I'll meet you halfway. How about that?
He comes up.
2 hours. 2 hours.
So, Dave, I know we're kind of we're saying just grab a laugh when you can get one in a time, and you shouldn't feel guilty to do that, because a little levity in a situation that can't be changed is terrible. I want to make sure that you're okay. It's Thursday, right? So normally at Ska on a Thursday, you would have the Ska barbecue going on, and the weather. How's the weather down there in Durango right now?
Actually, today's a beautiful day. I mean, it was pretty cloudy earlier. The sun's out right now, and I mean, it's weird. The sun's out, but people aren't. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of it just seems trippy to me. It's weird. It is apocalyptic and science fiction, and you almost feel like I went out for a run earlier, and I felt like I was going to get arrested.
No, driving here, and we live 10 minutes away. Greg and I are kind of in the same neighborhood-ish, and I kept being like, somebody's going to pull me over and ask what I'm doing. Like, it's just a strange
time we're living in. Some of the, just like Dave, it strikes me because I don't think it was last year, but the year before, a road trip, half of Durango was on fire.
Oh yeah.
And the community reacted, and it was kind of just drop everything and take care of each other. Through the silver lining right now, humanity has never seen anything like this before. And I'm seeing some pretty creative, good things out of people that they're doing right now, if there's something that can be said for that. But with some of the most devastating fires leave that fertile soil, and on the other side of this thing, are you feeling that right now, or are you still in a process to where you're still kind of processing everything that's happened? Are you looking to the future?
I'm kind of in that purgatory, in limbo there, kind of between. I'm still having a hard time coming to terms with things, and it's been really difficult for me. And at the same time, unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch too much of today's show, Modern Eater Show, because I was on a webinar that was all about it was a local webinar that was all about the resources for employees and small business. And so I was on that, and the webinar was hopeful because it really was, the message was that it's our community really coming together, and people are really trying to help each other out. And I'm hoping it breaks down some of the divides, I mean, big picture thinking, like, we're going to come out of this, not just us, but the whole entire country, if not the world, is going to come out of this so much stronger on so many different levels. And I hope it helps break up some of this divide, and we can realize, how much we care about each other as just human beings. Mm-hmm. And I think, maybe some of us have been living in a manner that we should stop and take a step back and be forced to think about and reassess. And that might mean a leaner business. It might mean a smaller carbon footprint. It might mean more about humanity and compassion and for your neighbor and or any fellow human. And I'm right in between, but I'm starting to lean more toward hope now. And I feel pretty strong that it's getting better by the moment, that's where we're going to be at in the not too distant future. And I'm going to hold on to that, because it's weird in Durango, and I started to really get that sense in Boulder too. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been up there, but it really happens fast in a small community, small mountain town like Durango. Well, big mountain town, I don't know. But that resonates, and Colorado's a state that's pretty proud of itself. And I think those of us that are residents and natives even, really have a lot of pride in where we live and who we are and who our neighbors are. And I think hopefully that resonates throughout the country, and it becomes everything becomes better after this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk a lot about people doing business with people right now and seeing who's who and what's what, and who do you owe, and how do you keep your vendors happy, and first person to pay, and communication is huge right now. You're right. A dollar has never switched hands. Maybe a couple of beers between you and I, but what you do and who you are as a person and how you conduct yourself and your business is just so classy and cool. I call today should be buy a 6-pack of Ska Day. We want to be able to help out, and it's like, how can we help? How can we do things for other folks? But your beer, are you still brewing? Are you still canning? What does that look like right now, Dave?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I appreciate your sentiments. And it's kind of weird because we want to really take care of our employees and put their health and their safety ahead of everything else. And at the same time, on a number of different levels, with the governor's order, we're actually considered an essential business. One, because we're part of the food supply chain. Two, we're a manufacturer. And then when the liquor stores and grocery stores remain open, we're part of that chain as well. So keeping them stocked. So we've got to continue to produce, and we've got to continue to deliver, but we also have to be very careful about how we go about it day to day and how we interact with each other and take as many precautions as possible. And we meet, our leadership team meets every morning at 8:00 to discuss the events of the previous day, because everything's so fluid, obviously. And what do we need to do to make sure that, for one, our employees that are laid off, that we're certainly hoping we bring back, what are the resources we can make sure that they understand and are available to them, and how can we help on that level? But then two, who does need to work, because this is a business in that category, and how can we change our processes so that everybody's as safe as possible, and we don't take it lightly. Mm-hmm. And I think we're doing as best we can when we're operating with a skeleton crew for a couple of different reasons. One, obviously, the business has been hit with a devastating loss, but at the same time, there's some people that we can keep employed, and how do we have to do that, and what do we need to do to make sure that they're comfortable? Of course, if they're not comfortable, they definitely do not need to be working. But if they are comfortable and they are willing to work and keep doing that side of our production, we're doing it. And we are offering at Ska and at Peach Street, but not at Ska Street in Boulder. We are doing curbside pickup, and so we're taking those same precautions.
Can you get some beer too?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got because of Boulder, we're now a brew pub, and Peach Street in Palisade is now a distillery pub. So Peach Street can now offer Ska products. So you can get a 6-pack of Mexican lager and a pizza up there. You get free hand sanitizer that we're making at Peach Street with every order. And that's been a crazy thing at Peach Street too, because we right out of the gates, we knew we could be making hand sanitizer, and now the hospitals and stuff are running out everything up there on the Western Slope, and they're starting to get in touch with us, and it's kind of become what everybody's doing up there right now. And we got a bunch of it. Our boy Arlo made a trip up to Peach Street yesterday and picked up a bunch of hand sanitizer. So we're offering that for free with curbside pickup at Ska as well. But we've got a lot of deals that include beer, and yes, you can pick up beer here and at Peach Street, and spirits up at Peach Street as well, as long as you order food at the same time.
If I was in Durango, I would just have a standing daily order to come swing by, 4:30, 5 o'clock to get a Dave pizza, 6-pack of my favorite True Blonde beer. I probably just switch it up a little bit, but I love those things. And just to
not the True Blonde, obviously.
I can't get my hands on that, but I can get it on the beer. Listen, Dave, times like this, it breaks my heart to see you laid up in there, and I know how much you care about your community, the people around you, and again, that Ska BBQ would be going on right now, and people are finding these pivot points. Tonight, though, at 5 p.m., this is an interesting thing. At 4:45, we're going to have Robby Overfield on the show to play a couple of tunes for us. But what do you use your time for now to entertain people with? A stream for some live music?
I think, and you might even know more than me at this point. I mean, this is how fluid things are. Robby was going to do a one-man show in an empty tasting room at the brewery, but I think after Governor Polis's order that began at 6 o'clock this morning, I don't think he can really be at the brewery, so he might be in his own living room. I'm not exactly sure where he's going to be.
That's amazing.
But, we always have had live music on Thursdays, and we thought we would just. And Robby was playing this week. He's a one-man show, and he plays a little bit of everything. He's a fantastic human being, and I think. So, if nothing else, just put it on, listen to his music, grab a beer, hopefully a Ska beer, but any of our people that you can support, regardless what brewery they're from, and maybe just listen to Robby for an hour or two and try and take your mind off of this and quit watching the news. It'll be there when Robby's done playing, or take a break for the night. It'll be there in the morning. As fluid as it is, you're going to get the news you need to get. If you're watching this, you're already hyper aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag local.
Yeah. So I'd say stick around and watch Robby. We'll be streaming it live on our Facebook page. And I think it'll start with you guys. So that's fantastic. It's just kind of a way to keep in touch with the community.
Yes, it absolutely is. Here's a bright spot in a very dark place. It could have been worse. It could have been the Ska virus instead of virus.
Oh no, we can't. We're not even going to go with it. No way.
It could have been.
Robby,
and then it causes everybody to just bust into spontaneous dancing. Or what?
Like that.
I know, and that's you, man. The artwork, everybody's in love with the artwork. Everybody's in love with the beer, the brand. You guys have built such a cool Colorado brand. It's like I look at you guys as kind of like that benchmark of how to be cool and good, man. and then I'm sure right now they still don't let you touch any buttons in the brewery, do they?
Oh no. Nice, Jay. I love it. Yeah, it's kind of it's killing me to sit at home and not be at the brewery. But if I don't need to be there, I just feel like it's probably the best decision.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I got to admit, man, it's killing me. It sucks to not be one of the essential people that is pushing buttons there. I don't brew beer anymore, which is ridiculous to me. It's a shame, but I'm kind of
Are you getting that itch? Are you getting the brewing itch a little bit?
Oh man, I wish I was brewing right now. I can't even tell you. It's been a long time. I still mess around home brewing a little bit, but it's been a long time since I brewed on the big system.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't felt the desire or need to do that in a lot of years like I feel right now. I really need to get into the brewery and actually physically be brewing beer.
Can I encourage you to do that?
You can. It's going to be a crappy batch of beer.
That's all right. Do it on the experimental system.
If you'll commit to drinking it, regardless of what it tastes like, I'll brew it.
Absolutely, I will. Get some of your old man's recipes out, from the back in the day. Absolutely. You see why I'm in love with this guy?
I can tell. It's the bromance, but you keep having bromances, and Andy's going to get really jealous. And now
I like her boyfriend. He's cool too.
Sarah's husband's going to get really jealous. We're going to have this whole jealousy thing.
These are cool people, man.
Of the bromance.
We got a cool community.
Dave, I do want to thank you, though, for doing what you're doing with the hand sanitizer. We had a distillery up here who was able to donate 200 small bottles to our police force. They cannot get their hands on it, and they're the first to go into somewhere. So what you're doing is really awesome. I just appreciate it. It really helps out the community. So
How about
thank
that
you.
special release whiskey that was coming out of Peachtree there?
The 10-year bourbon.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a super limited. It's the first bourbon. Well, it was a regular bourbon was the first bourbon ever in Colorado, and then the 10-year, obviously the first 10-year bourbon actually distilled and bottled and aged in Colorado.
How did you get it out of the back of one of those rack rooms, man? Those are so full, you know.
Oh God, I can't tell you the logistics up there, and it's a tight space.
It is.
But those guys know what they're doing. They know when 10 years is moving around. Those barrels have worked their way to the front. We just had a couple more barrels, I think, reach the 10-year mark, and I'm not sure if we're going to release those immediately or hold off for a little bit. But it was a very limited release for the first one, which was the most recent, and we'll see. It's fantastic. So if we do release it again, you can get your hands on a bottle. It's worth having one in the stash.
Put one aside for me if you can. No promises if you can. Hey, man, I know your type. You're going to come out swinging, and you're going to be there fighting for everybody around you. It's just in your DNA, dude.
I hope so, man. It's trying times, but once again, we're all in this, and we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that I think could really use support, whether it's from the consumer, friends, family, you guys, whatever. And I know you're doing everything you guys can do as well. And I just think taking care of each other right now is more crucial than it's ever been. And it hopefully, we can all come out the other side, and who knows really what it holds. I'm sure some of us might not be as fortunate as others, but I think just supporting each other, your neighbors, your friends and family, staying healthy and doing the right thing is more crucial than it's ever been right now.
Yeah, take the time. We had Zach Christofferson on yesterday from Chain Reaction Brewing Company, and Zach has some health challenges himself in a wheelchair. And to have a guy like that to inspire us, which he did, he said, I just encourage everybody to taste everything a little bit more, to smell the roses, to appreciate just the moments in your life. And I think that's really what we're all taking inventory right now. And things are raw right now, Dave. I know they are, but if that gets you back into brewing or getting your garden going, master gardener Dave, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Many people did.
To find out.
Vegetarian as well. He's a very interesting guy, and through times like this, to where you're like, I don't want to take a video call, you still did.
Thank you.
And that's just that means the world to us, man.
Oh, I'm always happy to talk to you guys. And you're right. What Zach said is very true right now. You're spending some more time. I mean, I know it's hard when you're working from home, whoever you might be, and your family's there. Your kids aren't in school. My daughter's 13. She's here right now. And it's, take a few of those moments that you don't get every day and spend it with them and appreciate it and be in the present. And those things matter a lot. And I think they'll play a role in how this whole thing plays out in the end. And I think we'll all come out, once again, like I said, we're all going to come out better people for it.
We will. Okay,
Absolutely.
we're kind of the sink police right now since everybody's at home. Show us your sink. Are you doing your dishes?
Sink.
You want to see my sink?
Yeah, we want to make sure you're doing your dishes.
Okay, this is weird. This is my sink was leaking yesterday, so I just had to clean it all out and apply a bead of caulk around it.
There you go.
It's not too bad. It's got a couple dishes in it because the water can't be turned on until it dries.
You kind of got a commercial thing going
faucet
on there,
man.
I
like it. What's your favorite kitchen gadget or kitchen item? That's my new game. That hood. Oh, ooh.
Oh, yeah, the hood's sweet.
Ooh.
That's nice.
I love
my kitchen. It's where I spend all my time, really.
Kitchen too. What's in the fridge?
My oven is killer.
Do you have gas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hardcore. And this is really cool. If you like to cook Asian food, these burners flip over.
Stop it.
and they have a custom little curve in the burner that holds a wok.
When was the last time you did that?
Oh, it's been, I don't know,
19.
a month probably, but it's coming up because those are the kind of foods I've hoarded in my prep world.
So question, what brand is that? So sorry, the commercial equipment geek comes out of me when I look at equipment. So I got to know what you have for residential.
That's a Heston.
It is it a Heston?
No, I think it's a Monogram, which I think is a division of GE.
Okay, that sounds about right.
It's pretty nice. It's got we just redid our kitchen a couple of years ago. It's got a convection setting in it, and it's all those, like you can see, I've got this hand hammered wok,
and you're taking good care of it too. It's nice.
Yeah, look at it, and it just fits. It just fits right on there.
Oh, that's tonight.
So, yeah, you don't need to. But I don't know. So
Dave,
that's probably one of my favorite cooking gadgets. Is this that the burners flip over for the wok?
What a cool thing!
Open up your fridge and see what we got going on
in
in
the fridge. Dave.
In where?
In the fridge.
Oh my gosh!
I know, man. Just bear with us. This is the people's favorite part, right
Show
here.
us something local in your fridge.
I got hazy IPA.
Which today's National Ska Pick Up a Six Pack Day.
Epic Sour IPA.
Do you really? Look at you.
Nice.
Nice.
Shout out to Epic.
Odell Sippin' Pretty.
Nice. That's good stuff.
Some black raspberry Ska hard seltzer.
Do you have any food in your fridge?
I've had that. I have had that. It is so
Yeah, of course I've got food. I've got some Colorado. Actually, I think this is where is this made? This is made in Hotchkiss. Kimchi.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, farmhand kimchi from Hotchkiss.
Ooh.
Yummy.
Yeah. I'm a kimchi freak.
Are you
I
really?
love kimchi.
Every day?
Yeah. And then right behind that, some homemade sauerkraut from last year. And some fresh strawberries. And some pickles and organic maple syrup.
So Dave said he's a vegetarian, so that's kind of my deal breaker. I'm bunkering with him, but for everything else, I'd be totally in.
Here's another fact. Dave's ridden a bicycle from Durango to Denver.
Oh.
I'll
tell you my bicycle story one day. I'm not allowed to ride a bicycle. It's a long story.
That's how he keeps that girlish figure.
Nice job, Dave.
Hey, man, thanks for spending time with us and showing you around the house.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And that chicken is just...
It's yours. That's the Dave.
It's making me happy.
There you go. I mean, yeah. Who's your chicken? Oh, you mean Dave?
Yeah.
I mean, we just named it Dave, just like that. You know, what's Dave screaming about? Well, you know, somebody's got their finger in them. That's what happens.
Oh, God. We haven't had one of those yet today, so thank you,
Jay Parker,
Jesus.
ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there it is. Dave Thibodeau.
Thanks, Dave.
Next time we talk to you, right, we're going to be talking about how we're getting back on track.
Right. Hopefully on the road trip. Who knows?
You said it, not me, man. I wasn't going to do that to you, but you know you're going to be with us.
If this all plays out and that thing comes to fruition this year, I'm all about it.
Done and done. I love it. He's a friend of mine, and hopefully I'm glad that people have the opportunity.
And now a friend of all of yours.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Yeah, Dave Thibodeau, Ska Brewing
Dave.
Company, Peach Street Distillery. And when the doors open, man, I'm first in line to get back up there to Ska Street Brewstillery in Boulder.
All right, you guys. Take care. Love you.
Thank
See
you.
ya, dude. Love you, too. What a great guy.
That's awesome.
Dave Thibodeau. Coming up next. What a show.
Wow.
Fantastic. And again, don't forget at 4:45, Robby Overfield will join us. Look at this guy. Hello. This is the first time I've really had the conversation here. Going to get to our next guest in a moment, which is Rich O'Brien from Elevation Foodservice Reps. But I have to tell you about this. We have a cool new group that's going on right now. It's called Food Service Emergency. It's on Facebook. It's open to the public for the time being. And it's just a great information resource guide. So if you are on Facebook and you want kind of that central location for a lot of good information, Food Service Emergency Group, just join it, and Rebecca will approve she'll study.
I'll approve you. I actually did veto somebody who I could tell was spam today, who was not in the industry, a different country, and had just joined Facebook 5 days ago. So I am watching you guys who joined.
She's watching you. And again, right now, on the line with us from his house, everybody's at home, which is kind of interesting, is our new friend. And it's been, I don't know, a couple of weeks. I think we ran into each other, but Rich O'Brien, Elevation Foodservice Reps.
So I've known Rich for almost 10 years. He's been a great friend, mentor, and a huge piece of our industry. And he's got a lot to say, which I'm really excited about. He carries some of the top lines in the industry and just is huge about wanting to help right now. So,
Rich, what do you do?
Hey, Richie.
How are you?
Hey, how are you guys?
We're hanging in there, just like you. I love chatting with you.
I love chatting with you too, and I'm glad I can get approved by you. And I do have to say, Dave, I do have to give a shout out to Ska. I mean, is Modus not just timeless? I mean, what a timeless IPA.
God, I haven't had a Modus Operandi in a long, long time.
They're so good.
It just kind of ruined my life. But let's talk about brighter things.
I know. Well, I am actually with you guys from my office. And what's interesting to me is I never thought that I'd be referred to as essential. But with some of the things that we do with Elevation, I do have that designation because of a lot of the equipment and supplies that we represent, and being in the healthcare market and also with the military and law enforcement. We have a lot of different products that actually do give me the, I guess, again, essential designation. So I'm not from home, although I wish I was with my wife and beautiful 2 daughters. But I'm really happy to be here with you guys just to talk about the community and what's going on with the industry. And I don't want to really talk a whole lot about my organization because I think we have so many other things that we want to cover. But, we are manufacturers representatives in the Mountain States for food service equipment and supplies. And basically, we're the factory to the customers. And we work with a lot of the restaurant people that are supplied by our suppliers. And so this is a time when we really want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support the people that have supported us. And, Rebecca, you bring up the point about us knowing each other for 10 years. And that was about how long ago we started Elevation. And we were able to build this because of the restaurateurs. And so now more than ever, that's why we really want to help not only the restaurateurs out, but the food service operations in hospitals, the food service operations at nursing homes. And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us are, is that, put your business, the Modern Eater, our sponsors are all food service. And, who knows where we'll be a month from now, hopefully still in this kitchen, but, who knows? At the same time, that's not our first instinct is to, think about ourselves. We're thinking about how we can reach out and help others. And I think that that's really the heartwarming consensus right now with many organizations.
So a few things with Rich. First of all, he's beautiful.
You didn't want him to respond?
Well, I was going to just jump in and share some more.
All right.
Yeah. He has a beautiful facility that he's opening up his doors to. And I think that's a huge thing that he's doing right now. And along with sharing some of the products that can help, as we talked to Troy, like delivering product that's going to taste the same when you get it home. And Rich, I just wanted to jump in there and let you take it from there.
Well, one of the manufacturers we represent is Cambro, and they've really, taken the delivery catering. They've been catering for years and years, really the experts in food holding. They also developed a product a few years ago, expanded polypropylene, EPP. And they've developed these products really for catering, for meal delivery, whether it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, Last Mile. And one of the things that I've noticed recently, what we've had happen is we've gone from catering being 100 people. That was always what it was. And then suddenly with the advent of the new delivery, and I actually have to throw this out there. I saw a marijuana delivery service called Duber. I thought that was quite clever. But what we've seen now is people can also cater for 10 now. You know, it's not just restricted because of the things that we've got that we can deliver a good quality product. What we're going to try and do here with Elevation to support the local community is we want to, you know, with everybody being stuck at home, we want to do virtual lunches. And basically what we're going to do is our sales staff is going to get a customer of theirs, whether it be Tundra, Bar Green, Trimark, Ricca Design, William Caruso and Associates, all these different people. Select these people to come and do a virtual lunch. And what we will do is we will let the people order from their favorite restaurant to be delivered to their house, and we will pay for that. And what that basically does is now you're catering for one, but that continues to support the industry. So we're also, what I'd also like to do, and I was going to throw this out, Jay told me to let you guys know this, I'd like to donate some meal delivery pieces of equipment and supply, some EPP, some delivery bags, because what's happened is I don't think a lot of people have their delivery system set up. And as we try to adapt to where the industry goes, usually the adaptations don't happen so quickly. We've got a few years to plan out, and we see industries going in certain directions. What we were able to do, though, was look at this so quickly and say, where do we have to go with this? We have to go to hospitals. We have to offer up our test kitchens to the VA, to the Salvation Army, to the Red Cross, because this is a legitimate, very real thing that we're dealing with here, and we all just have to pitch in.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff, my friend. And, you know, selflessly doing that, and hopefully that solidifies more relationships. We've talked, the theme for probably the last 11 days is now people are doing business with people. And the reputations and relationships of how people are conducting themselves right now, and really being there for people, that it's not the brands that are doing business with brands, because who knows where all of our businesses will be after all of this. So that's really important. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you bet. And you know, one other thing that, you know, I think Dave really, one of the things that you keep touching on with people is the good things that come out of this. And, you know, we can look at this from a macro or a micro. And my wife pointed out to me the other day that the dolphins have come back to the canals of Venice because because of the pollution. You know, things heal. And our industry is going to continue to heal. And one of the things that we've got to do, though, is we've got to stand behind each other. And industry gets it. I mean, what I've seen is a lot of banks now are saying, we will defer your payments for 3 months. We will defer these things because it's important that people don't default. And so as we continue to work together, one of the things that we just want to make sure everybody knows is that we're here to support the community. We're here to support the modern eater, you know, because what you guys are doing is really important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. When will we see you? Probably after the smoke clears. It'll all be by video phone, but we'd like to have you back, and reaching out to us is great. We're kind of all just chasing our tails right now.
I totally get it. And I just appreciate the time to come on. I mean, it's my first time actually being on a YouTube channel or even on the radio. So I'm a little bit nervous. And I keep looking over, where are my damn notes? I've forgotten everything. Of course, I'll Monday morning quarterback this thing. But honestly, what I would like to do, if I could, I do have some delivery boxes. They're insulated delivery boxes. Cambro makes them. I have some insulated bags as well. And I'd like to donate those to restaurateurs here locally that are just trying to, you know, get their delivery business going so that they can continue to be employing people, and they can continue to stay in business. So I'd like to just drop those off to you guys and then let you decide, you know, what to do with them from there, if that works out for you.
Yeah, I'll connect with you for a pickup on that. Absolutely.
Be great.
Storm over Rebecca's house.
Yeah. But honestly, I do want you guys to know, though, that we do have a very nice facility that is not being used right now. And anybody that has any need for food production or just has a need to use a facility, reach out to you guys. Rebecca can get a hold of me, and we're more than happy to open that up.
Listen, I know someone right this moment that actually reached out to us asking if they could utilize Studio Kitchen. It's friends and family, and Kevin Galaba, who's doing great work as far as making sure service industry folks are being fed right now. I think that connection is probably right up their alley. So if you wouldn't mind, we'll connect you with Kevin. Yep. And actually, today is Kevin's birthday. Happy birthday. I think that would be a great present for him. So, Rich, you're the man. I can't wait to see where our friendship goes. And this is just the beginning. And right now, I think we need a lot of beginnings.
And Rich, thank you for being just such a great friend and mentor all these years to me. And we really appreciate all of your support.
Fantastic. There he is. Rich O'Brien, Elevation
Thanks,
Food.
Bye,
guys.
Richie. Big hug.
Bye. Fantastic. Okay, standing by Sonia Riggs, Colorado Restaurant Association CEO and president. Welcome back to the Modern Eater Show, Sonia. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
taking time for us today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, happy to be here.
Okay, so the days are all running in together. They all seem the same. So, where are we right now with just important updates right to the front?
Sure. So the third coronavirus package or bill passed out of the Senate. We're now expecting it to get passed out of the House. It's focusing on two things: relief in the form of loans that may be partially forgiven to small businesses or businesses really under 500 employees, although there are some exceptions for restaurants, meaning they're not counting your collective number of restaurants together. They're counting each location when they look at that count. You can you can actually apply for this relief if you're a restaurant with more than 500 employees. If you just count each of your locations.
That's a big win.
It's a big win. The other thing that's included is money directly to people, which is any person making less than $75,000 a year or a family making less than $150,000 a year will receive, for individuals that are less than 75, it'll be a $1,200 check. For families receiving less or making less than $150,000 a year, it'll be a $2,400 check, and then it goes up to $198,000 or so for couples filing jointly, but it just ratchets down a bit as far as how much you receive, plus additional money for each child you have. I think that's $500 per child. So that's really the big news. We're just kind of, now waiting. How do the details work? When are people going to get their money? What's that going to really look like? So we're actually working with the National Restaurant Association. They've invited all restaurateurs, whether they're members of the Colorado Restaurant Association or the National Restaurant Association or not, to participate. So we're getting information out about that this afternoon to restaurants, so they at least understand a little bit better about what this will mean. They're calling it the CARES Act. So that's really, I think, the biggest piece of news. The other piece of news that I have is that since today is really the first day of the full state being shut down, there have been, I think, some consumers and even restaurateurs have reached out and said, our business is actually a lot lower today than it was yesterday, because they think people may be confused about the fact that restaurants are still very much open for takeout, delivery, and drive-through. So I just want to remind people that many of them are. Some have chosen not to be open, but many still are, because they're providing really a public service to consumers. And in fact, I have a document from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment saying that this actually really might be a lower risk option, especially for people in those high risk categories, because there are fewer opportunities to interact with other people than there are, say, with going to a grocery store. So, I ordered last night. The person wouldn't even touch me. They set the food down on the front porch and left, which was great. It made me feel very safe. And I know that restaurants have already been practicing safe food safety preparation, but I know a lot of folks are really stepping it up even more so. And I've heard a number of restaurants that are really going above and beyond, taking cautions to make sure that people are safe eating out. The other thing to note is restaurants can now sell alcohol to go, to be picked up. You still have to be 21, and you cannot be visibly intoxicated when you're purchasing it. But they can sell full bottles of wine. They can sell full bottles of alcohol. They can sell a single Cosmopolitan if you want one, and they'll put it in a plastic cup and make sure it's sealed when it gets to you. But they can even sell things like toilet paper and onions and tomatoes and whole chickens and that kind of thing. So I think they're really providing right now a great service to the community, those that have chosen to stay open.
And the folks that are coming to the forefront, a lot of great resources at restaurant.org.
Yep, .org.
Restaurant. So
yeah.
We've also got a list of participating restaurants on the home page, sort of on the bottom, where it says to find out which restaurants are open, click here. And then there's a place at the top to find out more about the coronavirus and all the resources that we have, not only for restaurant owners, but also for employees.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also great references as far as vendors go. With we just had on Rich O'Brien from Elevation Foodservice Reps, and maybe this would be a good relationship for you. He has packaging that he would like to offer up as a gimme to restaurants that may not have the ability for to go packaging wise and that kind of thing. So we'll connect you with Rich, see if that's something that would be helpful. But we'd like to just give all of the available resources to restaurants to be able to have them pivot the same as somebody else that has a ton of resources.
Exactly. And there are a number of folks that have reached out to us and said they're willing to help in one way or another. So we've got a section for resources on our coronavirus page as well.
Sonia, should I have him reach out to Devaney, or who would you recommend?
Devaney. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. I've got a great relationship with her. I'll do that intro.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah.
Here we are. It's a Thursday. I think there's kind of just it's quieting down a little bit right now is the feeling that I'm getting. The tone of the calls and emails that are coming in for you right now, Sonia, what are they?
Oh, we're still getting a lot of panicked people, especially I think with the confusion from the public that they may not fully know that restaurants are still open and considered essential for drive-through takeout and carry out and delivery. And so I really want to drive that point home. I'm still getting a lot of questions, especially about paid sick leave and how all of that works. But again, we've got a lot of references on our website to answer that question for restaurateurs and employees. So we're trying to do the best we can to help everybody in the industry. I do want to say one other thing that I don't remember if I had mentioned before, but we also, our Angel Relief Fund that we have, that we're actually working with some partners to try to continue to raise money on that to benefit workers in the industry who need a little bit of extra financial help, especially right now. Those have actually been affected with coronavirus, meaning they've been diagnosed. And we are working on getting them some money pretty quickly, but we're hoping to actually expand that beyond our efforts beyond that. We've had a number of generous companies that have reached out to us and said, we want to help in some way, we want to help the industry and the employees of the industry. So we're working on a campaign to raise money in a bigger way, not just by those that have been diagnosed with coronavirus, but to expand it at some point here to more than that. So to additional restaurant employees. And if we were able to raise enough money, even to restaurants themselves. So we're working on that right now and more to come. So please keep an eye out. And I'll be happy to update you as we know more.
Thank you so more. And I do think that we need to drive that point home that restaurants are still trying to operate within the parameters of what they're doing.
You're allowed to get food.
Yeah. And I hate to use the word enjoy, but there's a certain part of me that's really kind of liking some of the, I'm trying to do it as much as I can. And you pull right up, you get you can do a lot of stuff online, pay for it, expedited, and delicious food from some of your favorite places. There's so many cool things going on out there, right?
It's
or
been
places you haven't tried.
It's been exactly, and it's been a saving grace for us because my husband and I are both working full-time plus, and we've got 3 kids at home, and it's easier than cooking.
Oh yeah,
like it saves us time. And again, I don't feel comfortable. I mean, we'll do it, but I don't feel comfortable going to the grocery store with 100 other people. I feel much more comfortable having somebody drop something off on my front porch and just grabbing it. So.
Well, and as far as anxiety goes, my anxiety skyrockets when I go into a grocery store. And a lot of times when you shop, it's just to say the ingredients for tacos. You need probably $40 worth of stuff to where you could probably get the same thing for $10 at your favorite place. You know what I'm saying? So it just works out. And what better way to really support the business than to do that? Absolutely. Sonia, you're doing such a great job.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you two are doing as well. We appreciate you getting the word out on this important industry. And I can't thank you enough.
Hardest working guy is Jay Parker, though. He's the one who's keeping it.
I was going to chime in and be like, there's 3 of us, Sonia.
Sorry, Jay. I didn't mean to ignore you.
That's all right.
I think that point's there, too. You have a great team as well, Sonia, and they need to be recognized as well. Are you away from the headquarters and everybody working from home now?
We'll have one person at a time go into the office if we need to, because we still need to collect mail We still have some basic functions to keep our office open that we need to be able to do, but we've been trying to be and we also try to have somebody there at least part-time answering the phones because people are desperately looking for help. So, but again, we're trying to be very careful and make it one person at a time in the office so that we're being diligent about safety.
Okay. I say I'm just giving you a raise right now. However much you want to write in, put it on the books for next year. It's approved right here.
Yeah, right. we don't have any money coming in now.
That's right. Well,
we're still members. Fourth, we'll stay members. I did have a long talk with my boss about sponsorships and things because we're on a hold for a lot of stuff, and you guys have brought so much to us that we will continue to sponsor.
Can we buy a gift card
members
from Colorado?
We don't have any, but go buy one from a restaurant, and that'll make us happy.
The other thing I want to touch on real quick is that you guys have been generous enough to open up your email opt-in option. So if you're not receiving updates from the CRA, you can. I can absolutely send you. I have a snapshot of where to go, but go on their main page. There's a little spot that says you can opt in and you can get all the information like we do.
Don't you dare opt out.
You just click on coronavirus. It's right at the top. Yeah, we try to make it as easy as possible.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Yes, we know you're busy. Thank you so much.
Guys. All right, talk to you soon.
President and CEO, Colorado Restaurant Association, Sonia Riggs right there. And as we stand by from Dr. Baby Yoda.
Dr. Baby Yoda.
Dr. Baby Yoda is going to be here soon. Hey, this is a cool one, guys. As you're saying, okay, I don't want to go to the grocery store. I want to help out service industry. The chain is broken, and here's something that doesn't need to be broken. It's Rome Sausage. And Rome Sausage, just like other folks, they are putting together bundle deals. And who doesn't like breakfast sausage, breakfast links? Those are all things you need. Italian meatballs, jalapeno cheddar brats, fantastic bratwurst, chicken apple sausage, Italian sausage, green chili sausage. There's a box that they're putting together that is a $50 box, and you can order it by calling 303-296-7663. 303-296-7663. Another great local business, family owned and operated. Chris is a fantastic guy from Rome Sausage, and they'll deliver it right to your home. Best way to do find out more information is go to romesausage.com, ROME sausage.com. Order online. Make it simple. Keep your family fed. That's a Rome Sausage.
Rome Sausage is fabulous, and we love them. They're a great sponsor.
These
great
are people,
friends.
yeah, you want to support them. So see if you can do that. Standing by from Dr. Baby Yoda, our spirit guide, and she's superhuman. I think she's trying to pop up.
There she is.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Doc.
I love the gathering of little items you have. That this entertains me. I'm pointing at it like you can see me point. But you have a chicken, you have oil, and you have Baby Yoda.
We have you right there, but like you're the skinnier, cuter version of that. So
I appreciate that.
Hey, did you know you met me and Jay in person?
Did I? Is that why I feel such a strong connection to you? When did we meet?
So harken back, and I think Jay's going to put up a picture of this. Harken back to Blue Bear Farm with Mary Mino and Little Rich Snyder. And there's a photo that Little Rich gave us, but we were hosting an event there. We were the guys running around with the microphones.
I do remember this. We did meet. Oh.
See that?
Jay kept saying that he thought he had therapy from you at one point or something. He couldn't figure it out, but he would have never gone to therapy. So,
well, you know what's funny is when we first met a doctor on the first show. And she was on. I thought I had seen her in a medical, but I was thinking doctor on the other end of things,
like
right?
rubber glove doctor.
Yeah. I'm like, and you said it a different way, but I'm like, I think I'm acquainted with Dr. Sara. And then come to find out, you're a different kind of doctor, which made me feel good, because the other way freaked me out that I would meet you face to face and you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember this guy, But thankfully it's we met a different way.
How'd that checkout go for you, Jay?
It's good. Everything's good. I'm good.
So Rich shows us the pic is on there. I don't know if you can see it, Doctor. You can look at it later. But in the pic, woman on the left, Rachel Nunez, and her family owns La Cuva on East Colfax. We've met with them. What a great family, tied to the Aurora as well. And you're in the picture along with Little Rich Schneider and Mary Mino. And I think that was the brainchild meeting of how you actually started to work with service industry.
It was. Rachel and I have known each other for a long time, and she made that introduction, and it's been a beautiful budding friendship and partnership ever since. So I owe all of this to Rachel and her family and getting us all connected.
Well, no, you owe it to us because that was our event and you would have never been there.
True. Okay, you get full credit.
Oh,
Just kidding. So here it is. You'd think I'd turn my brain off, Doctor. This is a no joke story. 1 a.m. I'm listening to you and your husband in a podcast, talking about all kinds of things. Did you post something podcast related yesterday that had to do with dogs?
We did. So it was a canine podcast and we were talking about wellness. So yes, we did post that.
So that's what I did with my time last night, late night.
What'd you think?
I thought it was fantastic and actually learned a lot about you and even more about Eric and fascinating people and just your background. But it struck me in my mind that I'm watching, service industry people, we're all kind of in the dumps about this, but there are other folks that are really suffering right now too. And if you watch the national news, people that are working in hospitals right now, nurses and doctors, some are freaking out. Like, this is really challenging to do that. Where do you even go with somebody that's on the front lines of things like this? How do you have conversations with them to where they're just to the breaking point?
Well, again, a lot of it goes back to at least normalizing that for them. These are folks who take on this career. It's in their DNA to help people and to take care of others. And they have such good, compassionate hearts, but they are still human. And they still have a breaking point. And it's so hard for them to admit when they've kind of reached their limit and that they need to take a step back. And we're seeing so many people who just want to keep giving and putting themselves out there and taking care of others. And they're realizing that they don't have right now much left to give because they're just so exhausted. And we've got to let people have permission to say, just take a breath and catch your breath, and then you'll get back in there.
It's fascinating to see how people continually stay motivated in such a seemingly depressing circumstance and to show up day in and day out because of their dedication to their profession. I'm sure money might have a little bit of things to do with it, but being prepared and safety for yourself, that's probably where a little bit of that solace comes from, right? Preparing and making sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and we actually talk to people a lot about the use of imagery. And what's interesting is across every industry, they use imagery, and we're having to help them get back to this skill set. So with our responders, they plan, and what if this happened? How would I handle it? In the restaurant industry, you guys do the same thing. You're constantly planning. You're looking at the future. How would I do this? How would I manage this? And helping people recognize that they use that same skill to help themselves right now. Nobody gets stuck in just the anxiety of, oh my God, what if worst case scenario? You have to also be thinking of the positive. What's the best case scenario that could come out of it? What's the most likely scenario that's going to come out of this? Not just worst case scenario. That makes people overwhelmed and scared. But there's some really great outcomes that could be on the horizon. You've talked about it in your show each day this week and last week about what are some really exciting creative things that could happen as a result of this. And we need people to engage in that thinking as well.
The power of positive thinking. And it's real. I mean, your mind can basically convince you of anything.
Oh, yeah. And again, that's why we need people to kind of really be mindful about what they choose to think about. You had Chef Troy Guard on earlier, and I'm a foodie in training, so very, very basic. Even at a very basic level, everyone knows he's an amazing person. He has such beautiful aloha and spirit and ability to focus on what's the long-term goal and how to use this time and to really look at how do I make this a positive for his brand, for his ohana. And it's such a neat message that he was able to give at the beginning of the show. And I hope people go back, if they weren't able to tune in, I hope they go back and watch that interview because it really was incredible.
Thank you. You're hired.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And a lot of times to be able to focus, you need to block out noise. I know noise distracts me a lot. And I tell Jay that turmoil stifles creativity. How do you block that noise? How do you get that how do you just push it back?
You give it time. You sit and you allow for it to exist, but then you also take a break, get outside. It's a beautiful day. As I talk to you guys, I'm also looking out the window, sky, and it's beautiful out. And making sure that you also say, I'll get back to panicking and being anxious in like 20 minutes. But for 20 minutes, I'm just going to put it aside and recharge and get outside and just really engage in something that recharges me. And it's really about finding that balance.
I bet as I think about it, and your husband tied to Aurora, right? And as I learned more, but I had some friends. I a million years ago, I was in political talk radio, and that's what we did on a daily basis, is just hammer the current events. So, I'd get some great people feedback to just keep the ear to the ground. Did he know a homicide detective named Rudy?
Yes, he loves Rudy.
I love Rudy too.
Everyone knows Rudy. Rudy knows absolutely everything. Everything. But if you need anything, ask Rudy.
Ask Rudy. Where's Eric today?
I know. I was waiting for him to comment. I've been waiting
who's Eric?
her husband.
I thought his name was Nick.
It's Nick.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I was like, I
No,
texted her
it's us.
inviting
Greg
her
and
and Nick.
Greg and I are. We've had so many names.
She's like, well, who the hell is this Nick guy now?
Sorry,
you know?
Nick.
Sorry, Nick.
Nick, look who loves you, Nick.
Jay's on it. Thanks, Jay. Yes, Nick, I don't know where he is. He was on a call earlier. I think he's locked himself away again. But we're both kind of multitasking today. So lots of calls and needs, and he's taking care of people as well. So he actually works for Code 4 now, as much as I give him a hard time. He's retired from law enforcement, and now he's part of Code 4. So he's taking care of people as well.
Yeah, you have a Lone Tree location, right?
Oh, yes. Our main office is in Lone Tree. So we've got 9 clinicians and just a really cool space. I miss it. I've been up at home in quarantine ourselves, unfortunately, but we're excited to get back to our office because we just love it.
How's the therapy dog doing?
Therapy dog is asleep on the chair. I could probably show you, and maybe she won't run. Hold on. There. She's staring.
You can't even see her.
I can't.
She just fades into the couch.
Yes.
She's there. The other one ran off. Oh, now she's our little baby girl. She's happy.
So,
There's
Dr.
Nick.
Oh, there's Nick. Yeah.
My apologies, Nick. Really, I don't know where Eric. It was a 4-letter word, that's for sure. And there was an I and a K in there. So he says, I didn't lock myself away. I was locked away. Help.
Send the therapy dog. Doc, what advice do you give people today? We're on day 11. They continue to get weirder. I got stir crazy last night and this morning. I'm starting to be like, let's get out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the time to try something new, get creative, learn something new, try something new, read something new. I think, we get used to our structure, and when our structure is gone and everything is just kind of a free for all, we really start struggling with that. We're creatures in some way of habit. And so it's important to make sure you maintain some level of structure, but also with whatever spare time you have, make sure that you try to do something different and new. Whatever creative juices you can get flowing, make sure that you invest in that.
Or you can play me at Domino's on the Domino's app.
I have not done this app. Is this don't give Nick a new game. Nick has.
I'll play you, Nick.
Oh, don't. What?
Let's play. I wrote for day 11, I kind of take the temperature for the day, doctor. Today I took the temperature and it says, where do we go from here?
Yeah, where do we go from here is a good question. And I think, you guys have had some really great people on, and I think that the message I keep getting from your viewers is spot on. It's really investing in whatever the pillars are, whatever those things are that gives them that spark, and why have they been in this industry in the first place? It goes back to, again, you guys have all talked about it, but work ethic and passion, caring, courage, connection, all of those things, those still exist. So even if they look different, even if you're not as physically connected to your people and to your teams right now, look at those themes and figure out how can I still have passion in my life. If that's not creating a new menu, if it's not going to work and seeing my crew, how can I still have passion? How can I still have courage? How can I still have excitement in life? And I think that that's the big key is figuring out new ways of having that energy.
Dr. Baby Yoda here with us, a.k.a. Sara Metz. We've renamed you. I hope you don't mind the nicknames, the Superhuman. And
I love the nicknames. They make me happy.
Good. I'm glad they do. As we kind of finish this segment, tomorrow I want Friday to be on an uptick. And I requested, and I don't know if you can do it, to start the show with you, Doctor. Is that something that you can do?
I'm honored, and I will absolutely be happy to do that. Is there a specific topic you would like? Do we want to go back to the sexting conversation to start?
Andy loved that, by the way. He went back and listened to it, and he was like, the doctor said sexting. I'm like, yeah, it gets better. Just keep listening.
Who didn't?
Right. It was
and it
great.
Inspired Jay, too.
I'm sorry, ladies.
It doesn't need much to inspire him to do that.
Jay's
also,
a catch.
Yesterday, did you reach out to Jay? Did you text him?
As a therapist, I can't confirm or deny who I reach out.
Well,
thank you, doctor. I may or may not have mentioned to Greg how sweet it was that you reached out, and hey, you know, I don't even. What did I say? This.
It meant a lot to you. It meant a lot to you.
Yeah, it did. And I'm excited to have them when all the dust settles and we're back to regular life. I can't wait to have them, in the kitchen throwing around some chicken parmesan and drinking some wine and having a good time.
Yes, I try to worm my way in there. So I look forward to continuing to have conversations with all of you and meeting you guys or meeting you again soon, hopefully soon.
It will be soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're staying at home for extended period of time, or is everything good?
Everything's good. Unfortunately, again, we deal with high-risk populations all the time. So unfortunately, we've had a couple of exposures ourselves. So we have to self-quarantine until, we've seen 14 days after our exposure. So we both feel fine and we're doing well, but we want to make sure that we are doing our part and that we're not exposing our responders or our staff to anything. So we're hanging out at home for the next little bit here.
Can we bring you anything?
Well, you guys can stop by anytime. Yeah.
Bring you some food. I love and listen, new friendships, cultivating friendships, and again, I don't think the show would even be the same if we weren't able to speak with you at the end of the day.
No, it's very uplifting, and I think I've gotten a lot of feedback that it gives everybody a little hope.
It really
and
does.
It really brings it up. At the end
Plus
of the
my
day.
mom loves it too, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Moms like it. My mom actually signed in and listened to it too. So you are getting a lot of the moms out there, and so we'll keep doing this. And I know Colorado Restaurant Association is going to host a webinar where we kind of do some additional discussions about these topics and try to let people kind of ask some questions and things. So I think we're trying to find more and more platforms to help make sure that people are getting that connection and that support during all of this.
Is there anything we can promote now?
I think they're going to put out the first round of advertisement for it tonight. I have homework, so I have to get them a little snippet on that. But I think it'll be, I don't think this is nothing hidden about it, April 1st. I don't know a time, but I probably should know the time because I'm supposed to be hosting it. So
you may know tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, but yes, we're gonna have a webinar kind of style talk that people can kind of get some more information from.
Yeah, and just as an aside, Jay and I are hits with women over 70.
Oh, are you? I think my husband is too. So he's that club. He's had some. He's very big in the community, and people like to get a little handful when they take pictures with him. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mr. Nick. I get pushed out of the way sometimes. Yep.
A little handful. I like to get a little handful.
Handful of Nick. I like that. Guess what? Who we have on next?
Who do you have on next?
We have on a musician that's going to play us out tonight with a little tune coming from Durango, Colorado.
Oh, I love it. I will make sure that I stay on so I can listen.
What's for dinner tonight?
Tonight, we're kind of basic, but we are doing spaghetti. I don't do anything fancy, but we're going to try to do spaghetti and dream of garden grace, I think is probably what we're really going to do.
Right.
Our last big date night was not on Valentine's Day, but to celebrate Valentine's Day, we went to Garden Grace and we had an amazing dinner. Their octopus is life-altering, as are their cocktails. So we had an amazing dinner there, and I can't hold a candle to that, but I will try to make spaghetti and not burn it. So
garlic bread and wine.
More simple than that. Maybe garlic bread. We're not wine drinkers. I've always wanted to be a wine drinker. I want to be that person. I'm not that person. I'm a cocktail girl. Give me a good gin or a good vodka, and I'm happy.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, so I have a couple places. We have Meridian Spirits, which is phenomenal. They've got a great vodka, great gin. And then we have Deviation Distilling, both local companies, but their flavor profiles are very different, which is really cool. So we'll have to get you a bottle.
In other words, gin's on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
That will make me happy. That's all I need in life.
Well, that Nick.
A handful of Nick and a gin. And
a handful of Nick and a gin.
Oh, my God.
That's a new saying.
Ah, man. I love it all. I just love it all. Thanks, for joining us.
Can't wait to kick off the day with you tomorrow. I'm ready for Friday.
That's right.
Excited. Happy Thursday, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Dr. Baby Yoda. There she is, Sara Metz.
I would like to raise our candles. Jay, raise your candle.
Oh, we've got couple
birthdays. We have
birthdays.
2 birthdays. We have Mark Whistler and Kevin Gabala, right? Am I saying
Kevin
that right? Galaba. I knew I was
and Mark Whistler. Hey, guys, happy birthday.
We don't really have cakes, and I'm not setting this place on fire right now, but
cool candles.
We're raising a candle for happy birthday.
USA.
Yeah. I actually asked my roommate, I was like, do you have candles? She's like, yeah, this is all she had. But want to wish you guys a very happy birthday.
Yeah, March 26th.
Day 11.
Day 11. We're standing by for some entertainment. I love catching up with the doctor, and she's just a great, great person. In the meantime, while we are standing by, I want to talk about Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. These guys are great in a time to where folks are looking for ways to just really not go anywhere and have it brought to you. It's that time. The weather's breaking. Just because all of this craziness is going on doesn't mean you don't want to be in your backyard barbecuing.
I know I do.
You can do the barbecue.
I can, actually.
Gluten-free.
Mm-hmm.
So as many of you know, people are changing and adapting, but Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions will be happy to drop off meats, pellets, charcoals, wood, seasoning, sauces, grills, and accessories. Just call them or look them up online, 720-612-7324. They are stocked with meat. If you love delicious meat, they're rocking and ready to go. They'll bring it right to your door. 720-612-7324, Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions.
Big piece of meat to your door.
And you can also go to, I don't know if you did the website, and it's up on the page right now, too. I'm also stalling so this video can play out. ProudSoulsBBQ.com. And these guys, man, all BS aside, man, these guys are the real deal when it comes to barbecue. Hands down. Look at this guy. Look at this guy who's next. He's got his guitar. I've always wanted to play the guitar, and I've never been a guitar guy.
Hey, Robby. Robby Overfield joins us.
We can't hear you, Robby.
Turn your mic on, dude.
Something's going on there, buddy.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. No.
We need some
audio.
We need the music. All right, you can hear us?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? We can't hear you, Robby. Let's do this. Let me shoot him a text and say maybe we need plan B here.
Jay's going to text you. It might be just as simple as restarting your phone, Robby. I'm not sure. But we're not closing the show until we hear that sweet, beautiful music coming out of your guitar. Yeah, text him. Rebecca.
Yeah, Greg.
Well, I want to talk resources in Fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So Fourth is a very proud sponsor of the Modern Eater. We're happy to be here. I'm very fortunate to be able to be beside you doing this week. But we are an HR and payroll company that is specific to the industry. So hospitality, restaurants, breweries, distilleries, wineries, you name it, cocktail lounges. But currently what we're doing is ignoring the sales noise, and we're offering some solutions. So if you have questions on unemployment, how that's going to affect your SUTA rates, insurance liability with having your employees drive for deliveries, or just questions regardless in HR with this topic right now, feel free to shoot me a message. You can reach me on my Facebook, Rebecca Berry or Rebecca Berry Fourth, and email me at rebecca.berry@fourth.com.
What are some of the?
We've got you covered.
Yeah. What are some of the notes that are coming your way? What are they asking?
Yeah, I mean, just Jay had a great one. Like, hey, they closed a location. How do I file this as far as like what I'm owed and all of that? Also, insurance wise, how does this affect my policy? How does this affect my SUTA rate? The state unemployment rate currently that's on your taxes is 1.7% flat if you have no claims. You could have 3 claims and that will multiply 3 times.
I hear audio.
So we're here to support you.
Yeah,
we
dude.
are. Now let's get
There
to
you
the
are.
music.
Hey, there I am.
Yeah.
How you doing?
We're doing good, man. Did you
I
change
think
up
that
your
was good.
system for us, or is this? Are you locked and loaded?
Yeah, there we go, buddy.
Oh, this is
I
fantastic.
had to use my phone. The computer wasn't being so happy with it, so I just had to switch over.
No,
That's all right. We can hear you, so we're looking good.
So this right here with us is Robby Overfield. We're Robby's house, I would imagine. He was booked to be entertaining folks at the Ska Brewing in Durango, right there. I love Ska Brewing Company, and Ska. Yeah. If you've ever been up, to a Ska Brewing, you're in for a good time. But rather than just calling it off, we're all adapting, right? And so you're going to entertain some folks tonight on the Ska Brewing stream. And, you're representing with that in the background. So without further ado, is there a name to this one-man band? Is it like, how Aldo Nova was? I like it. So,
Robby Overfield and the Breaks. We got a couple albums out. Travel all over the place, play music. But when I'm by myself, I'm just me.
How can people find your music? Is there a SoundCloud or a Spotify, or what do you got going on?
You can find both the albums on Spotify. You can find them on iTunes. You can go to the Robby Overfield musician page on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also go to www.robbyoverfield.com. Obviously, the shows and the tours have been canceled right now, but once things get rolling again, it'll be back up.
Yeah, so just to be clear, when this broadcast ends here on the Modern Eater Facebook page, just jump on over to Ska Brewing Company's Facebook page. You're going to be streaming, and we're going to get a little taste of what you're doing there, because I'll tell you what, I'm going to get my dinner and sit down, and you're going to entertain me tonight.
I love it.
Sounds good, as long as you guys got your beers with you, too.
There'll be Ska.
Awesome, man. All
right, what are you going to play for us?
I used the Bills when I grew up in the inner city of Detroit, Michigan. Bills pile up and they ain't gonna pay themselves. On the line, on computers or phones. Is anybody ever gonna have a conversation of mine? Midwest front, been in this city fire. No one wants to hear me no more. We're in a city trying to die. We just trying to keep the city alive. I'm gonna take my little time. Just move on in and out, Say, I'm gonna take my little time with you. Oh, I'm right out of bush tail, nothing to do, man. Sitting there just waiting for the Sunday blues.
Oh, man.
Perfect
Can you
timing
hear us?
on that.
Ah, man. All I think about is
How you don't have any talent?
How I don't have any musical talent. I mean, I have a talent at like throwing a napkin in a trash can over it. You know, like that's my
Actually,
talent.
you
You know?
didn't even do that,
We all got our talents. Some people can swallow goldfish.
Yeah,
Some people can touch their tongue to their nose, and
man,
I guess I can sing a little bit. I don't know.
Robbie, no kidding, man. I've always been envious of the guys like you that play music, man. I
Robby
really am.
Overfield here with us, and again, this is cool. Ska Brewing Company, they'd be doing it. Yeah, and Dave Thibodeau says Aldo Nova. Greg, come on, yeah, Aldo Nova, man. I am that old. Sorry about that.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Tell Dave hi.
I will. Well, you can tell him hi. He's watching
Hey,
right.
listening.
Hey, hey, Dave, what's up, man? Do you have are you taking tips, man? Do you have a Venmo or something like that?
Yeah, I do. I'll be putting it up when we do the live show on the title, but it's at Robby-Overfield. So ROBBY-Overfield. Just the two words put together.
Yeah, do that for sure. You're doing some looping in there, aren't you?
Yeah, so I have a microphone that's built inside of the guitar, so I get this.
Oh.
I get this. All right, hang on, let me unplug it. And then I can loop it like this. That just kind of keeps going.
Can you hit us with one more?
What's that?
Can you hit us with one more?
Yeah, sure, I can hit you with one more. Whatever happened to the long way home? These days it's hard to get some time alone, baby. I don't know. Maybe it's changing all the time, baby. And I hold me for hostage, let the whole day pass. Tell some stories through some broken glass on my window pane. Take time to synchronize the pouring rain. Am I crazy? Think that I can slow it down? Am I crazy? Things are so much different now. Am I crazy? Yeah.
So I have to ask you, Robbie, for the ladies, and you're in Durango, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you single? Okay. Yeah, I don't need any of the other. Trust me, I live in a man's world. It's fine. Okay, ladies. So you just heard his voice. If you're in Durango,
Who wants to
Robby
quarantine with Robby?
Overfield. Who's going to quarantine and get some great music?
I love that answer because he's thinking about like,
Yeah.
what would this one girl think how I answer this question?
But thankfully, she probably doesn't know what this is, and she's not listening, so it's not really actual.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just trying to get the word out.
Robby Overfield.
Matchmaking.
Robby, on a Thursday and then the broadcast, I needed you, man. That was fantastic.
I like this. Can we do like Thursday happy hours now until this thing? Well,
Robby, we'll be in touch with you, my friend. Denver needs
man,
you.
anytime. Just get a hold of me. I'd be happy to, help you guys out, play some music. I'm kind of stuck here just doing this here. So,
well, if you're watching the broadcast, you guys, and you want more of that awesome music, then after the Modern Eater stream ends, just pop over to Ska's Facebook page, and you get to see Robby play some more tunes tonight for the quarantined folks of Colorado.
Yes, that's everybody. It better be everybody.
It better be everybody.
Thank you, Robby.
Thanks, Robby.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Robby Overfield.
Take care.
God, I like the end of the vibe there today.
That's good. He's got a great voice and just talented musician right there. I'm going to be looking his stuff up on Spotify. I think I found a new playlist, which is great. Another great job today. Thursday. Tomorrow's a Friday.
Yes, thankfully.
The weeks are, kind of going by a little bit. I mean, they're slow,
fast.
but they're going by, and that's all we can hope is just to be here for you. What else? Any other housekeeping? I don't think so.
I think just I will be in touch with chefs who I'm going to start doing the pickups or have you guys meet me outside of the Modern Eater, not out to drop off some merch. I'm going to finish up working with Jen this evening. I've got a lot to do when I get home. We're going to get some Troy Guard gear. Are we speaking to Frank tomorrow?
I hope so. I don't know.
Chef Banana, we may have him on tomorrow.
Sara Metz will open up the show.
It's going to be good.
Jay, great job.
Yeah, Jay. Jay, it was great.
Well, I mean, listen, I'd like to point out that, I think our one snafu that we had early on. I think I'm putting that on the internet. I mean, at least I'm hoping, But since, and of course Troy Guard, since him, I think everything went.
I think people have to be patient, and we're trying our best.
We're trying to be here. We're doing everything we can. I smell like spices, which I'm ready to roll myself over a steak right now. So Zach, thank you so much for the gear and for the kit. You guys, the Spice Guy, hit him up. If you are home and cooking, you need his stuff. You need Zach Crater's oil. I mean, it's just top notch. I mean, I know.
There's one right here. The Spice Guy. Zach, I think one of these.
Can we open it? I want to see what gifts he got us. He told me one was for me. I'm not taking it.
Let's see.
It was gifted.
I don't want to break it open.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not taking it?
No, I meant I'm not stealing it. Greg accused me of stealing oil the other day. Even though
Yeah,
Zach told me I could take
it. Zach can't
like that.
double give stuff. How do you double?
Ooh. We have some Voodoo Cajun.
Good stuff.
The Colorado chicken and veg.
Korean barbecue in there.
Oh, I don't know. The black pepper chef mesh. And the garlic powder. Oh, I'm gonna just
the Spice Guy. Look him up online.
Yep.
Google him. That's what Zach would say. Google the Spice Guy and hit up his website from there.
On this, you can
Greg,
open
point
it.
at the website.
Sit down.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. There's his website. Yeah, you guys. I don't know why that entertains me.
You can scan too to get recipes if you get these boxes from him. You are cooking at home. You need spices. Probably most of your stuff is old and needs to go away. This is the perfect time to clean out your pantry. We're not, you want to minimalize. Look at how little they are. 2
to 5 p.m. daily, and then Saturdays, of course, on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station from 6 to 8 p.m. The Modern Eater Show. We can't wait to get back to normal, but enjoying spending our afternoons with you. So for Rebecca Berry and Jay Parker, I'm Greg Hollenbach. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m., The Modern Eater Show.
Be safe. Take care of each other.
Wash your
serve
hands.
those who serve others, and wash your effing hands. Thank you.